I can't tell if this is working. Yeah, it is. I think it is. I think it's working.
It's showing up for me.
Can someone check audio and see if there is some?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Let's wait a little bit,
Yeah.
Get some time.is up on the screen.
Did it go in the thingy?
In which thing? No, the Patreon? No, it didn't. It
The
didn't.
Discord.
I mean, yeah, there it went there. Where it didn't go is I didn't send the video link to Discord
Oh.
or to.
What if we
to
just did it
the
for
table.
us?
Yeah, this is just one of ours.
Just did one for us.
We thought, like, what if? What if live the table, but no one?
Just did one for us.
Oh fuck! Copy video URL. Post. Please embed correctly. I don't think it's embedding correctly.
See it in the
In the
Discord.
It's in the
What?
Patreon,
It's in Patreon.
Discord.
The link?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's under the Roll20 link.
This just...
No. I meant the fan Discord.
Oh.
Like,
No,
at
I didn't.
here.
Yeah, no, I didn't do that.
I
One
don't know
second.
if we do that, but
I have to fix this whole post because it just
This is
didn't fucking
really
work.
good.
If someone else wants to share it there, that would be fantastic. Because it's
Do
just not
we
working here.
Share it in the Discord? Because I thought everybody...
Oh no,
was-
we don't share in the Discord. Yeah, we don't.
Okay.
We share the Patreon post in the Discord is what we do.
Oh.
We don't share the YouTube link.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But where the fuck? It's unlisted. Why is Patreon being bad? Patreon is not...
It's
I
a
mean-
testament to how good Allie is that I just have no idea how any of this works because I have that luxury.
It's
like
not
it's-
embedding. This...
Oh, I think it did because
No, so there's a
someone just
link.
put
There's
it
a
in there.
link. There's a link in the Patreon
people
post.
people are here.
I
though
know,
now.
but the video isn't embedding, so they can't just see it on the Patreon page.
Oh.
Ah.
Or like,
It's amazing.
it just might not work anymore. I think they may have changed it so that it doesn't work anymore. This way, we'll see.
I feel like I heard something there to that effect, but I just don't remember. It's very possible.
Yeah. They did because it screwed stuff up for YouTubers. For
I think
YouTube.
that was not
No,
as.
that was
that
the other
another
way
thing?
around.
Yeah.
Wasn't that YouTube making it so you
was.
had to be like verified or some shit to link out of YouTube?
oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
you needed
people
to
couldn't
have-
link directly to their Patreon at the back of a video.
I
They
got
had
it
to do it in the
fixed.
description.
I got it fixed. We're good now. I think we're good now. You can now watch it on the Patreon page, which means I can now link it in the Discord.
There's already a link in the
Somebody
Discord.
already linked it.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
gonna
already-
hear
they
it
got
though. Anyway, here.
It's wild how every behind the sescenes video of everything is just like appears professional.
Yeah, this is totally. This is just like the same as. Remember that time that Skyrim broke on us, Janine, during Stream Friends, and we just spent like 3 hours troubleshooting.
You
maybe
mean
it was
Oblivion?
maybe it was Oblivion. It was Oblivion.
Because
God.
because that was when I was still using a Mac, and I
Right.
had a wineskin version of Oblivion that I played totally fine, no problem, several times. And then when I started streaming it, it wouldn't do anything except make me spin in
Well,
place.
we-
So we just spun in place for 2 hours.
We
while
even
troubleshooting.
the thing that's wild is I think we even tested it and you streamed it to me and it was fine. It was just
Yeah,
like
it
the
was
second
fine.
we tried to go live on Stream Friends, it just
I
completely
had
broke.
totally tested it beforehand, and it was fine.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
just-
Are we ready to time.is?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll open it up.
I brought time.is up onto the screen. Time.is.
All right, I'm ready.
Let's do. I almost just clapped. I almost just clapped. That's where I'm at right now. Let's do 10 after. Let's do
I was
15
right.
after.
Wait.
Oh my
I forgot
God.
to clap.
15's so close.
15 is so close to 10.
Okay, we'll do 30. Oh my God. We're just not going to have claps. That's fine. It's fine to not have them. This is just redundancy. This is just a backup. It's fine. Okay. Welcome to Live at the Table, an actual play live stream focused on critical world building, smart characterization, and fun interaction between good friends. I'm your host, Austin Walker. Joining me today, Janine Hawkins.
Hi, I'm Janine Hawkins. I'm at Bleating Heart on Twitter.
Also, Jack DeKeat.
Hi, I'm Jack DeKeat. You can find me on Twitter at NotQuiteReal, or download and buy any of the music featured on the show at notquitereal.bandcamp.com, including the new Bluff City music.
It's true. That's up there now, along with the new art made by Craig Sheldon. The art is fantastic.
Looks good as hell.
If you haven't seen it, I'll pull it over real quick. Also, Andrew Lee Swan is here before we...
Hey, I'm here.
Where can people find you, Dre?
I guess on Twitter if you want. It's
Okay.
Swandere3000. That's me.
And you find me at Austin_Walker, the show at Friends_Table. And as always, you can support the show at friendsattetable.cash. Here's the art for Bluff City. It's super good. And Craig even had like a little, you see this little cash for coats.
It's a little secret.
Little secret. That's just a little secret. I didn't even see it. We told him yes. We're like, oh yeah, it's good. And then like days later, it was like, wait a second. Wait a second. Yeah. And then there was a person, or not a person. And there was a store that I recognized. There was a person in there that I recognized. They're a friend. Anyway, today we are going to be playing a game called Fall of Magic. I don't know if you missed this or not, but in the initial post that Allie made, she explained that given the holidays and some scheduling difficulties, we just decided to pick a game for this month and for next month. So this month we're doing Fall of Magic. Next month we're going to do Primetime Adventures. So look forward to that and look forward to this because we're about to do it. It's going to be good. Fall of Magic is a game designed by one person, I remember, if I remember right. Ross Cowman. It's spelled Cowman, all right? Like, it's Ross Cowman, but I'm not going to say Ross Cowman because that feels like an insult, and I don't want to insult Ross because this game seems cool. It is illustrated by Doug Keith and Taylor Dow, and the reason that it's important to say that it's illustrated is because it's kind of built around this notion of this huge map, which you don't see yet because I've covered up most of it, because that's the rule. Actually, the physical copy of it ships with a big unrolling scroll, and the scroll is something you unroll as you explore the world. And so we're going to start with just this huge black bar over the entire length of the world that we will slowly unfurl as we continue to explore. I'm going to read from the book. Magic is dying, and all right, wait, we have to have a very important conversation. Magus or Magus?
Magus.
Magus.
Hi, I'm John Fowles, and I'm here to say Magus.
Okay.
Cowman.
Magus Cowman. Got it. Magic, but not magic. Magic.
No, yeah, not Magic.
Okay. Are we sure?
Yes, Austin. I mean, look, I know it's a
not a
tough time
J.
for all of us, but I don't think this is the time to have an existential crisis.
God, fuck no.
Is the name Gus or Jus?
Depends.
It's Jus. Obviously,
Ask
it's Jus.
Jus. Ask
Or
Jus.
Jus. Ask my friend Jus. He's hidden in the Bluff City art.
Magic is dying, and the Magus is dying with it. We travel together to the realm of Umbra. Umbra. I'm gonna say Umbra, like an Umbra, where magic was born. I'm gonna scroll down here. Fall of Magic is a collaborative it's a collaborative storytelling game where we play a group of travelers in the company of the Magus. On the way, we'll encounter strange hosts, fantastic places, and perilous choices as we play to discover who our characters are, how they relate, and how our journey changes them. Am I getting fuzzy? I sound fuzzy in my ears.
Slightly.
Weird. My whole setup is being destroyed.
Yeah, you do sound kind of...
Fuzzy? Maybe it's fine now.
Not irreparably fuzzy.
Okay. Well, if the audio sucks this month, I apologize. In order to play, you'll need 2 to 4 players. God, this is going to kill me, actually. This is actually going to kill me. In order to play, you'll need 2 to 4 players with 2 or more hours of time. In addition, each player will need 1 note card and something to write with. A single session will feel like several chapters of a book or the first episode of a fantasy series. In several sessions, you can create your own epic tale. Does everyone have the book in front of them, by the way?
I do.
Okay. Before we begin, there are some things we should all understand. Pass around the book and read each of these out loud. Afterwards, make a space to see if there's anything the group would like to clarify or discuss. For instance, how do you pronounce Magus? I added that bit. That was editorialization.
Who damn knows?
So I'll start. It's like a conversation. A good game session should give you the feeling, that feeling of excitement and connection like a good conversation. And all those same rules about being a good conversationalist apply. Listen, ask questions, bear witness to things that inspire your fellow players, and let us know what inspires you. Jack, I'm going to go by the order that's on the bottom of my screen, and that is on the bottom of the listener screen. So, Jack.
Think small. When it is time to make something up, think small and don't plan too far ahead. Let the story be a wondrous beast we chase but never capture. Ask questions with no clear answer, raise conflicts with no ready solution. By letting go, the story we find together will be more profound than anything you might have planned alone.
Dre.
Social fantasy. Fall of Magic is social because play centers around characters, relationships, and exploration of culture. It is fantasy because things are possible that are not possible in our daily lives. This world will come to life if we treat the characters like they were alive, make them diverse, nuanced, and sometimes contradictory. Use this space to reimagine and explore without the restrictions and stereotypes around race, class, and gender that we experience outside of the game.
Janine.
Safety first. Lastly, your emotional safety is more important than any game. So if something comes up in the story or at the table that makes you feel uncomfortable or is ruining your fun, let us know. We can change that detail, fade to black, or take a break if needed. Likewise, check in with your fellow players before introducing an element to the story that you know might be difficult or triggering.
Cool. Good job, game. So setup. Sit down around a table and pass each player a note card and something to write with. I should get a note card. I should get us all note cards, huh? Do I have note
Get on a
cards
plane.
anywhere? Get on, yeah.
And, oh, you mean
And
in roll
send
20?
Start sending those around. I gotta find. There's all sorts of things. I'm gonna scroll up and search for index because I think I have them in here as index cards. I do. Thank God. Boy, people are gonna see all sorts of shit. There's a Steve Harvey picture in there for some fucking reason. Anybody who yeah.
What? Why is there a Steve Harvey picture?
Someone's gonna someone's gonna have to listen to things that
Landing?
aren't out yet. Yeah, Jack, it's not out yet. No one's heard that yet.
I didn't say anything.
Okay, so we all have these cards. These cards are good. Something to write with. That's just going to be roll 20. Roll 20 is your thing to write with. Make sure everyone can read the scroll from where they are sitting. Can everyone see the scroll?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Don't dig through the VODs to see all the images. Otherwise, I'll just go in and spend time blurring them out. That's a thing I'll do. So please don't. There's nothing that interesting there. Introduction. Have someone read the introduction out loud. Who wants to read the intro? Oh, sorry. Unroll the scroll, and so the title and introduction are visible. It's right there. As the game progresses, keep the unused parts of the map rolled up. Peeking ahead is fine, but in general, only our current area should be visible. Introduction. Have someone read the introduction out loud. Who wants to read this? I think I just read this, actually, now that I look at it. It's the one about magic dying. It's this thing on the screen right now.
Yep.
Magic's dying and the Magus is dying with it. We travel together in the realm of the Umbra, to the realm of the Umbra where magic is born. Choose your name. Each player chooses a name from the options listed on the map and writes it down on their note card. Each character should have a different name. I'm going to move the note cards up to the top. Does anyone have any strong feelings about these names?
I want to be Piccolo.
Yeah, me too, bud. We all want to be Piccolo. All right. What do you want from me, you know? All right,
Hey, you asked.
I'm going to add Piccolo here. Anybody else have strong names? Piccolo is 2 C's. How many C's?
I'll be Harp.
Harp's good. Janine, do you have a strong association with a name? Piccolo's 2 C's, duh.
I think I would like to be Fawn.
Okay. It didn't do the thing that was supposed to do. Come on, do the thing. There it is. Fawn. And I will be Caspian. Come on, there it goes. I wrote Austin, which is my name, but all right. Names, that's easy. Step 2, choose your title. Each player chooses a title from the options listed on the map and adds it to their note card. If it is fine if the player chooses the same title. If players choose the same title. Your title is a combination of a location plus one of the 3 options listed before the location. So, those options are Apprentice, Golem, or Raven of Ravenhall, Hero, Midwife, or Swineherd of Barleytown, Heir, Knight, or Fugitive of Stormguard, Giant, Ranger, or Fox of Mistwood, Merchant, Scholar, or Crab Singer of Estalia.
Hey, Austin, what's a crab singer?
Well, someone may ask, is a raven like the bird, or what is a crab singer? To this we reply, it means what you want it to mean. What's a
Hey,
crab
guys,
singer?
what's a crab singer?
I don't know. I think it's let's look at
It's
this
like
picture. This picture is
Yeah,
like
let's see what we got here.
Estalia seems like a cool place.
Let's take a quick look. Looks
Whoa.
a bit sort of like
Like
Anne Orlando.
yeah.
In a sort of
So it's a mini
of
boss.
way.
No. Do you think it's someone who? Okay, let's be honest. Let's be real honest, real quick. What are the options here? Crab singers could be someone who could sing to a crab. It could be a crab what sings. It could be something that's nothing to do with singing at all. It could be like a local like phrase. Like that person's a real fucking crab singer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be like a person at like a fish cannery or something like that who like entertains the people who are like breaking
Totally.
up.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
good. It's like a
I think
bard,
that-
but like it's a crabbing town, and so you need people to keep people entertained. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and then there's like the next step of kind of adjacency of which is like, what is a crab?
Fair. Good. I'm
it like
excited for
a-
step 3 here, buddy, because
well, you put the pieces together.
Uh-huh.
Is a crab sort of like a crab singer? A crab could be a unit in the same way that the Romans had tortoises,
right,
and they also
true.
had tortoises, but you know they had
They also had
the other ones.
right. So like in other words, like a unit of people who do a thing, and then among that group of people called crabs or called a crab, one of them is a singer.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
What else? I mean,
You could. Well, this is I'm saying that's that third step. What's a singer?
right, great.
Also,
great
hey,
question.
hey, check this shit out. Or crab singer.
Oh, yeah.
Or it's a sewing machine made of crab.
There you go. Totally.
Oh yeah, true,
course,
true.
Of course.
They chopped down all the crab forests to make
Yeah.
the sewing machine.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Here's one. In an aircraft, when you crab, you head partly into the wind to compensate for drift. Same thing.
Ooh.
It's like when you move like a crab does.
So now I'm sort of feeling that this is a bit sort of like Studio Ghibli,
Yeah.
sort of. Yeah.
To move
How big are the
diagonally,
crabs?
sideways, obliquely, especially with short, abrupt movements.
Wasn't it like a thing where like it was like I forget what genre of music this is, but like late like 2000 mid 2000 teens like Hot Topic bands where they did something called like the Crab Walk or something.
Oh my god, I forgot about them. I can't stop thinking about them.
Isn't that it? So maybe the Crab Singer's just the
no.
lead singer of a band that does the Crab Walk.
Oh my god, what was the name of that fucking band?
I also can't remember, but I like distinctly remember that like music video.
Crabcore is the name of the genre.
There we go. Yep.
The
Alright.
genre is called crabcore.
Yeah, Attack Attack is the band. It's called.
Stick Stickly, I'm pretty sure is the music video that you and I are thinking.
All
of.
Alright,
of
I'm-
this sounds
It is.
fake.
I'm watching this now.
Everyone
Yep,
watch
have
it.
fun.
I'm gonna mute it so we don't get sued by the Crabcore people. But
Why are they called crabcore?
you'll see. Are you watching the video?
You'll see.
Yeah, I am, but they haven't really done anything particularly crab-like yet.
No?
I'll update you though.
You update me, buddy. You go ahead and I'm trying to open this link in a new or open this image in a new tab is what I'm trying to do. Here we go. There you go, right there. That's a little crab action for you.
I'm so excited to see what this is going to be on the YouTube channel. There
It's
it is.
just a GIF. It's just a GIF. It's just a GIF. All
So
right,
yeah,
I'm
okay.
gonna move
So
on.
Crab Singer is the lead singer of Attack Attack from Estalia. Got it. Okay.
I think it's someone who sings on some sort of vehicle that crabs. I think it's heavy winds, and It's someone in like a hang glider that crabs through the sky in Estalia and
Yeah.
and sings the news. It's like a herald or a what do you call it? The people who come into town and they're like, hear ye, hear ye. I got some news for you. I got a bell.
Crier.
Crier.
A
They're
crier.
Like, they're like town criers that do that on like wind paragliders basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm up for that.
But it is also
it's sort of like
it's also
a,
musical. It is also musical in a sense.
It's sort of like a pastoral. It's sort of like a pastoral version of that guy from Mad Max.
Right, 100%. Yes, yes. Except also not chained to it. Maybe they are.
No,
I don't
no.
know, but I don't think so.
The guy looks like he's having a pretty good time in Mad Max.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
It doesn't end well for him, but you know.
All right, well, we've answered what a crab singer is. I think we've done our jobs. Does anyone want have a title in mind?
I want to be a fox.
Okay.
Um,
So you're a fox of Mistwood. Is a fox, or is a fox a different thing? Also, did
A
I just get way quieter, chat? I think I got way quieter. It's okay.
You sound fine to
kidding
me.
me.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
I want I want to be a bush dog.
Excuse me?
Sorry?
Mhm.
Bush dog?
One more time?
Bush dogs are also called vinegar foxes.
Let me Google this real
Oh,
quick.
can't believe
Yep,
We're on to
I
our
have a good
usual
picture.
Googling animal.
Vinegar fox.
I have a good
Fox.
picture.
Let's
Can
see, where are
drinking
you gonna-
apple cider vinegar lead to weight loss? Fox News. No, this is wrong. Oh, what?
Oh, these are cute.
Oh, these are great.
They look
Yes.
like
I don't have-
potatoes.
Wait, where's this
They
link at? I
do
don't
look
see
like
a link.
potatoes. Google a bush dog.
I googled a vinegar fox.
They're
Don't
like
do that.
chunky
Bush
little
fox.
potatoes.
Bush
I also put a
dog.
link in the Roll20
Oh, look
to
at
like a
these.
funny face with the bush dog with a funny face.
These are good boys and girls. Where do these live?
Oh my! Ooh, that's not a funny
Uh,
face. That's a
South
mean
America.
face. Are you kidding me? Look at
Well,
that
look, we might
motherfucker.
face challenges.
We might face challenges. That's true.
It's true.
So you want to be a bush dog or a vinegar
Yeah.
dog or a vinegar fox?
I'm Fawn, the vinegar fox from Mistwood.
Do you have the capacity for speech?
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
Good to know. Good. it's
Also, I
useful.
have clothes. Like not a lot of clothes, but like
like a cape?
probably like a jaunty. Oh yeah, cape.
Okay.
You're
Yes.
like a red
Oh.
wool animal.
Yep.
Wait.
No, I walk on all fours still.
Okay,
Can you
right.
use
You're like a.
tools?
What?
Can you use tools?
Some tools.
Can you like if you could hold them in your mouth?
We can figure this out as we go.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair. Good.
Uh, I
imagine I
draw
can't use,
maps,
like,
leave blank
pliers, but,
spaces.
like,
I'm with you.
yeah.
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 Yeah, I'd like to be a golem.
a golem of Ravenhall.
Mhm.
Can you all start filling this stuff up? Filling this stuff in
Yeah,
your
yeah.
cards, please.
Yes, yeah.
All right. Cool.
Uh,
So we got a Fox of Mistwood, a Golem of Ravenhall. Dre, tell me about Piccolo.
I'm kind of choosing between Raven or Swineherd.
Good choices.
oh,
Yeah.
good choices.
I think I'm gonna be a Swineherd of Barkley.
Great
Town.
choice.
Good
That's the one I
choice.
was hoping you'd go for.
And I'm gonna be a crab singer, Caspian the crab singer. Like what do
Somewhat. Yeah, I was gonna say you pick the name Caspian. You kind of got to be the thing with crab in it.
Yeah, exactly. Crab singer
Because of the alliteration?
of
No, because like it's water.
the Caspian Sea.
Oh, yes.
Of Estalia. Make sure you write down. Yeah. Y'all are on it. I don't even need to do this. I'm the one who doesn't know shit. Of Estalia. Okay.
Whoops.
Yeah, I know I'm a little quiet. My whole setup is fucking. Oh, I just knocked it around and got louder. So that's good. That's a good sign. I really hope it's the XLR cable and not my mixer.
Probably is, right? If you're able to knock around your mic or whatever, and that changes it.
Yeah,
Unless it's like
Being positive here.
I gotcha. All right, so that's step 2. We have names, we have titles. Step 3, or step 4 apparently is actually what that is. Choose tokens. Everyone chooses a character token. Then we choose one more to represent the Magus, whom we all share. Does anyone have any feelings about these images? Some of them seem pretty obvious, but
I think I'm gonna take this tree. It's
Okay.
the tree I like to lean up against when I'm taking a break from herding these swine.
one second, I'm gonna push these things to the back. To back. Roll
You
20.
gotta have a swine leaning tree.
You gotta. You gotta.
You have to.
That's
Union
a
rules,
law.
man.
Yeah. So I think there's a front and a back to these trees, to these tokens. I'm guessing there's a reason
Oh.
for that, but I don't know why, and it's
shit.
not in the rules. So,
Oh shit, this is good as hell.
Yeah.
This was a...
uh-huh. So, who has feelings about the rest of these?
What's behind the sword?
Another
Oh.
sword, but with like
Broken sword?
it's a broken sword. It's a broken
Ah,
sword.
Hadrian is here.
Oh,
Oh.
buddy.
I think I'm gonna take these the plains and rivers one.
Okay.
Because I'm a roamer.
Gotcha. I didn't know that about you.
Vinegar Fox.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the sword and the broken sword.
I'm going to take the candle and the burnt out candle. And that leaves the Magus, with the bird and the other side. I'm going to leave the other side up here just in case we need it later, you know?
Do you think our Magus is more bird or egg?
Front side is bird.
Oh, okay.
So I'm leaving it bird for now. I think. Anyway, place the Magus on Ravenhall where our journey begins. That's the last step here. Okay. Well, that's it. That's the game, everybody. No. So that's setup. Playing the game. In Fall of Magic, we take turns, one at a time, telling a small part of the story. During your turn, other players may contribute ideas, make suggestions, and act out other characters, but you get final say over what happens during your turn. We each also get final say over what is true about our own character. Parts of the scroll. Oh, actually, here's the thing we need to do. It's time to start revealing the scroll. Ravenhall. Okay. So I'm going to maybe give us a little bit more so we can kind of see. There we go. We can do these maybe. Okay. All right. So we're starting actually in Ravenhall, which is up here. Here are some of the terms used to describe different parts of the map. So there is a title of a location, so Ravenhall right here, right? Then inside of a general location, there are different scenes like the bridge, the menagerie, rose gardens, and the scrying pool. And then each turn, or underneath those, there are prompts like your face in the river, or the last time you saw real magic, or why you served the Magus. There are also scenes that have, instead of having just prompts, there are traits like beautiful, legendary, and fierce. There are other things that we'll find underneath scenes, and we'll talk about those as we come to them. So each turn, on your turn, actually this is at Ravenhall now, but that's it. On your turn, move your character token and describe the scene from their perspective. Before your scene ends, use the story prompt to add an additional element to your scene. So first, you move your character. Does anybody have a strong feeling about going first? Okay, I'll go first. Move your token. Place your token on any of the scenes at the Magus's current location. So I'm going to move Caspian the Crab Singer of Estalia to... let's see. I think I'm going to move him to the bridge. What we open on a shot of Caspian, like actually in the reflection of Caspian up in the sky with this kite, this kind of kite with a footing board that he's standing on. He has long, like shoulder length hair, dark hair, tan skin, like tan brownish skin, and is like doing tricks in the sky. But it's clear the wind is dying down. Not just the wind in this place. Like there is something in the moves that Caspian makes that are like seeing someone who is going out surfing at the end of the summer, or seeing someone who is doing an encore at the end of a set, and there is something joyous in it. It's just like, oh, I love this so much. But also you can see that he's like reaching for updrafts that aren't there, and like having to pivot and find new ones. And he eventually comes to a sliding halt just below the bridge, and like it comes to a quiet like landing, and some people nearby shout up at him as he's like, "What's the news?" And he's like, "Ah, no news today. Just out for a fly for myself." And then comes to a halt and runs over into the over the bridge. It's a stone bridge. It's an ancient bridge. It's a bridge that was here. This is the first thing that was built at Ravenhall. Ravenhall began as Raven Bridge, and it was this bridge that connected two distant villages that since became kind of the east and the west sides of this town. And from the bridge, there was trade and commerce and exchange, and so a community built up around that. And so he runs across the middle of this huge stone bridge, and then looks down at his reflection in it, and is kind of thinking, if I can't be a crab singer, what can I be? What would ever bring me as much joy as this? And that is what I've done here. So underneath each scene is a story prompt, and before your turn ends, you must use the story prompt to add an additional element to your description of the scene. When you're done, pass the turn. I'll just read these good ideas for us because they're good ideas. Start with a physical description of the place. Use touch, smell, or taste in your description. Ask lots of questions like, what does the rose garden look like? Or what is going on at the bridge right now? Actually, it's a question I actually do have. What is going on at the bridge right now? And we'll wrap back around to that once I finish these other good ideas. Leave plenty of space for quieter players to speak. Speak in character. Ask someone to play a part of your scene, like a fisherman in the wind or a flock of birds. Describe a brief moment in detail. When you revisit a scene and show what has changed, that's not a full sentence, but that's okay. I get it. Skip ahead to the part that interests you. Go back to something interesting we skipped and ask for ideas. So actually, I do have a question. What is happening as Caspian lands on the bridge?
I think that there is a parade taking place, or there's not a parade yet. There's going to be a parade. It's hard to tell whether or not the parade has happened, or there is going to be a parade. There are sort of wooden and stone temporary barriers that have been set up. There are some sort of like very sort of bored-looking guardsmen walking up and down and making sure that everything is okay. And distantly, you can hear the sound of drums and long horns being blown. But you can't tell whether or not the parade is coming towards you or has passed by.
Gotcha.
But over the rooftops. Elsewhere in the Ravenhall is like a big palace with an ornamental garden. It's sort of like one part Versailles and one part sort of Tudor palaces, or I guess Renaissance Italian palaces. And over the roofs of the sort of the town that has grown up around it, you can see fireworks and streamers and paper streamers and things. I think when Caspian was up there, he could probably get a really good sense of the parade.
Yeah. Okay. I still think that's my scene. So quick note before we continue, which is there is this one place, the Rose Gardens, that have these traits underneath. Story prompts with a plus symbol are traits. After describing a scene, select one of the traits listed and describe how that is true about one of the characters, yours or that of another player. Then write that trait down on the character's note card. So that is what those are. Those are still prompts. It's just that those are prompts that you can choose to assign to one of the characters. So who's next?
I can go.
Okay.
I'm going to be at the scrying pool.
Oh, I should give you... Oh, you have control of it. Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I guess, does this scene need to take place like where the scrying pool physically is?
I don't know. What do you mean? Talk me through your thoughts.
Because I think like I have an idea for like why Piccolo or why I serve the Magus. I mean, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what the scrying pool is. It's like Piccolo has gone there, and it's like a way to like look into his past.
Okay.
As a moment of like reflection before he goes on this journey. And the reason that he serves the Magus is he's looking into the scrying pool, and I almost imagine it kind of like, it's called the Alluvion. Is that the thing from Harry Potter that you see like memories in?
The Alluvian is from Dragon Age.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. I don't
Is
know.
it also from? I mean, is it?
The Mirror of Erised, I think, is the one from Harry Potter, because backwards it's Desire.
It's but desire backwards. She hides secrets all over those stories.
Wow. Okay.
And politics.
Jesus
Pensieve.
Christ.
There it is. Thanks, Michael Wolf. Pensieve is what I'm thinking of.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, that's the thing you take memories out of and put in, right?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think Piccolo's watching a scene from his life like several years ago when he was a small child, and it's just him and Ma and Pa on the farm, and it's a real bad winter, and all of the pigs are dying. And Pa leaves one day to go get help from the Magus, and before he even gets back, Piccolo and his mom wake up the next day, and like all the pigs are suddenly healthy again, and they're like bigger and fatter than they've ever been. And the dad comes back and everything is great, but one night Piccolo overhears the mom and dad talking, and the mom was like, well, what did he want? And he said, and the dad says, I don't know. He said he'd asked for a favor. And that favor was that Piccolo would have to accompany him on this journey.
Okay. What's how old is Piccolo?
16.
Okay. Cool. Where is the scrying pool at that you're looking at? Like, is it in a room? Is it in a room? I mean, is it indoors or is it outdoors? Is it in like
I
a
like
room
the idea of it
dedicated
being
to
like outdoors and kind of like a columned, I don't know why my words aren't working today, like a columned patio.
Yeah.
So like the sunlight can reflect on it, and yeah.
Is this something that anyone can do, or is this part of being a servant of the Magus that you can use the pool?
I definitely think it's a part of being a servant of the Magus, and
Okay.
it's like you're about to go on this very long trip, and you may not make it back, or even if you live, like we may have to stay there. So it's almost like a gift, I think. Like go back and relive some of the best parts of your life. You know, take joy in the things that you might have to leave behind while you can, and
Cool.
yeah.
All right. Who has the next scene?
I could go.
Mm-hmm.
I think Fawn is in the Rose Gardens here. I think I'll go with that.
Okay.
And I think, okay, so Fawn is in amid this sort of garden, and it's a very dense garden. It's one of those gardens that on a surface level might look very poorly maintained because it's so dense, and because there is kind of a randomness to where the plants are, but all the plants are flourishing. Like everything is in bloom, very, very large. Like this is a rose garden, but these are roses that are like the size of an oversized teacup. Like they're very big, sort of flowers you could sort of cradle in two hands, that kind of thing. So someone does take care of this place. It's just that you maybe wouldn't recognize it if you were expecting it to be a certain kind of garden. And Fawn is sort of amid these blooms, and it's probably very hard to see because it's so dense. And she is like a little ground potato, not like tiny, like she's still like a dog size. But she's sort of in this dense vegetation, like this is, she's going for a stroll basically, but it is a dog rooting around rose bushes. She has a little cape and a very fancy hat, like lots of feathers, probably like a stuffed bird actually on the hat. Gold capped teeth, little toeless shoes so she can still use her claws, but she's still very proper. I think she has like a heavy brass pendant that looks a bit like a door knocker on a chain. And she has patterns razored into the fur on her haunches.
Perfect.
and she's going for a stroll in the rose gardens, kind of, to her, this is the closest place to home. And it's a very artificial kind of thing, but she still appreciates it.
Are there other people in the garden right now?
I imagine there is like a little collection of maybe students who are discussing something sort of in a closed circle that she's not really a part of.
Cool. Anyone else have questions before we end the scene?
Can Fawn talk?
Yes.
Okay.
Do people
She
ask?
could talk to them if she wanted to.
Okay, but she doesn't. So, gotcha.
She's not a student. She doesn't think she can contribute anything to that conversation.
Gotcha. My audio is still fucking up. It's killing me.
Can all foxes from Mistwood talk, or is Fawn special?
I don't know all foxes from Mistwood, and I don't think Fawn does either. So
True. Good.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna.
I was asking a loaded question.
I'm gonna mute myself real quick and try to fix this.
okay.
Oh,
Okay.
weird.
Should I assign this trait? Is that
Yeah.
how that
Yeah.
goes?
Make me beautiful, Janine.
I was gonna make Jack beautiful.
That
Oh,
works too.
thank you.
I think a beautiful golem. There's a lot of ways you can go with that.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Nope. This
Yeah.
is worse. This is worse. I got quieter somehow.
You did get quieter.
Oh, fucking god. Oh. Okay. Maybe if I just hold it. Check. Oh my god. This is the worst. I can
To
hear
clarify
it.
for chat, Fawn does walk on all fours. Yes, she has 4 boots. None of them have toes.
Does she
They
have
just mostly cover like the heel and the ankle.
Does she have someone who makes her boots?
Maybe she makes them.
Ooh.
I think she makes them. She makes her boots and her hats.
Okay. I can get with that.
She's a haberdasher.
And a boot
Milliner,
maker.
Yeah,
A milliner
milliner
and a
and-
boot maker. It's a classic song in this world, The Milliner and the Bootmaker. The twist ending is it's a whole story. It's like, oh, the milliner does this, the bootmaker does this. At the end, the reveal is they're the same person and they're actually a vinegar fox. That's the big twist. Is like, oh, you thought
Or
that...
it's Puss in Boots, except it's Bush Dog in Boots, and it's all about like the merits of learning some trades and crafting
Right.
and
and that's why magic is dying.
Yeah, like every folk tune, it's 46 verses long.
Perfect.
So Janine, I think you get to pick what the trait means.
Well, and you have
right?
to introduce it is the other thing. You can't just say, oh, and also boom. It's and also boom, you're beautiful now. So their example, for instance, is this. Where'd it go? I've lost it. Here it is. Traits. Their example is that someone gives this character a Kabu, Apprentice of Ravenhall, legendary, and the way that they say it is. A small crowd of townsfolk has gathered in the rose gardens. I ask one of them, a young boy, why is it that so many are gathered here? The boy says, haven't you heard? The Magus has chosen an apprentice. The boy gets this excited look on his face. Look, they've arrived. And then I see Kabu step out of this balcony. They have olive skin, shockingly red hair, and a face that is neither masculine nor feminine. They overlooked the rose gardens, waving as the crowd cheers. Kabu, I'm giving you legendary. So, how do you show Harp's beauty?
I just want to say that "Boom, you're beautiful now" is what someone told Fawn when she got her teeth capped.
Gotcha. Boom, you're beautiful now. It's me, your dentist. Chip directly.
Okay, so I think. So Harp is actually from Ravenhall, so I know what this is. In the Rose Gardens, there is a statue, and it, like everything else, seems poorly kept, but also well kept in a different way. It's made of a very, very beautiful rock variety. It is, I imagine, like, when you get a piece of, I think is it quartz that sometimes is like pink and then can have stripes of black and that weird kind of like crystalline shimmer. I think it's quartz,
Maybe.
like rose quartz.
We need Ali.
And sometimes you
we
get
don't
like, I
have
think
our-
it's black. Is it mica? I used to know all this shit. I used to really like rocks.
Rocks are cool.
but I think it's rock like that I don't think is normally suitable for a statue of that size. You would expect it to be marble or something, which is maybe why to some it looks like poorly done. It's probably very brittle in certain parts, but it is very beautiful, and I think it's the same kind of material that harp was made of, albeit to a different end.
The end of being a person instead of looking
yes.
pretty. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm up for that.
All right, so do you want to add beautiful to Jack's sheet?
Yes.
I'm gonna move all of the flip side tokens over to the right, over to the left rather, so that they are just out of the way.
Yeah.
We know where they are, but we need to see our sheets. So, sorry, I got confused and grabbed. Did I grab? Okay, yeah, we're good. Boom, you're beautiful. Good, great, good and great. All right, Jack.
I'm going to go to the menagerie.
Okay.
I think that Harp is a statue of a soldier from a long time ago, from maybe 1,000 years ago, but it's actually comparatively recent. I think they were made, maybe 200 or 300 years ago, instead of 1,000. In the same way that we might look at a statue of a Roman centurion or something, and
right.
And I think that they're carrying. In one hand, they're carrying a sword that we can see, on the token, and in the other hand, they're carrying a pair of like gardening shears. No, they're carrying like a rake. Because they are visiting the menagerie, which is it's a cross between a zoo and an aviary and an apiary, and also just like there's lizards here that are made of stone. There's birds here that are made of brambles and daffodils and sunflowers that have been woven together. There is a snake that is made of water that holds itself together just spectacularly. And they're in cages, but the doors to the cages are all, open. They're not really going anywhere. They're just hanging out. And I'm remembering the last time I saw real magic, which was when somebody brought this thing to life. When the current owner of Ravenhall inherited the palace from their grandmother, a whole wing of the gardens were, in complete ruin and in complete disrepair. So the first thing this person did was awaken a statue carrying a sword and a rake to bring it into line. And then the second thing that they did was transform the material of this kind of lost quarter of the garden into this remarkable menagerie, kind of from scratch. And the really remarkable thing, especially in our context, was that the person who was doing this was only a agent of the Magus. Their power was, not even close to the power that the Magus has.
What so then what's your relationship with the Magus? Or actually, I guess here's my question. The Magus shows up. It's my turn. I am when we wrap around the next person's turn after we've all made our moves. If your character is already on the map, you may opt to move the Magus instead, advancing us along the dashed path to I guess it's to a new location. So that would be actually like to the next place. So instead, I'm not going to move it here, but I am going to ask at this point,
Yeah.
What is your relationship? I think the Magus does come in. So one, what is your relationship with the Magus? And two, what's the Magus? Who is the Magus in our story?
So my relationship with the Magus is that I was built on her instruction. The Magus kind of wrote down, the person who inherited Ravenhall, who is called Princess Angelique. She inherited Ravenhall, and She said, "You should do something about that bit of the garden that sucks." And the Magus went like, "Yeah, I should do something about that bit of the garden that sucks." And she wrote a list, and one of the things on the list was, "Make me some statues come to life, please."
And you were one of those.
And I'm one of those statues. The Magus is she is I don't know. I think she's an elderly woman. She is in her mid-60s. She walks with a cane. She has grey hair, kind of pulled up tight onto a bun on the top of her head. She cares about Ravenhall, but she has a lot of responsibilities.
Can you smell?
No.
Okay. If anyone else was there, what they would smell is the smell of caramel as she walks through the menagerie with some sort of caramel salt treat, like basically like caramel popcorn of some kind, something like that, that's like been freshly made. It is warm to the touch. And I mean, you just said this is the last time you saw real magic, which tells me something about where the Magus is. And we know that we're going to Umbra, which is where magic was born, and she needs to know how to get there. So, she walks to you and asks for your rake.
I wordlessly hand it over.
She nods to you, and she says, her name's Harp, right? Harp. Can you talk?
I can. I'm listening.
Okay. You'll accompany me. And then she lifts the rake to the top of the glass enclosure where the birds of bramble are. And she pushes it up and through the glass, shattering it. And there's like a loud crash. And the brambled birds all fly up into the sky like a flock that then entangle with each other and become a huge sweeping rock. This massive eagle of loose tree limbs and branches that like everyone in the entire town of Ravenhall can hear the flaps of the wings. And I think we get a shot of Caspian like noticing that the wind is picking back up and like catching on to the wind with his kind of kite, thing, and then I think we just get the shot of everyone leaving the city because we're moving. I had to figure out where we're moving, so I have to move this black thing really quick. Looks like we're going to the Oak Hills, friends. So, on your turn, if the character is already on the map, you may opt to move the Magus instead, advancing us along the dashed path to a new location. Remember to roll up the canvas to hide the places on the map we just left. I'm not going to do that yet because we still need to come back this way, it looks like, so I'm not going to re-hide this part. After moving the Magus, remove the other character tokens from the map, then describe that location and its story prompt from the perspective of the Magus. When you play the Magus, show us who they are, what they are thinking, and how we travel together, just as you would on your own character. So I'm going to move everybody's things back up. Actually, everyone else can do it because I don't remember whose is what. And so this is the ending of summer is the prompt here. I guess first of all, like, do we all just kind of organically come together on the way out of the town? Or was this agreed upon? I mean, with Piccolo, it's clear that it was agreed upon with you, right?
Yeah, and I mean for Harp too, right? If the Magus
Yes.
just came to Harp and said, "You're coming with me."
Yeah.
I think that Fawn senses the Magus leaving and just kind of inserts herself into that group. Is just like, you're leaving. I'm going to go with you. I'm going to make sure that everything goes okay, or.
Mm-hmm. And I think Caspian like figures out where the wind came from, and like takes to the sky and is just like hovering behind everybody, and is singing out the story below. And there's a point at which the Magus turns and thinks about like dismissing him in a pretty blunt way, but lets him continue behind her. By the time we get to the Oak Hills, following the trail of the Bramble Rock, you can tell that it is the end of summer because the what's the flower I'm thinking of called?
Honeysuckle?
The honeysuckle is blossoming for the second time. It's like the way it works in the Oak Hills is that the honeysuckle blossoms once at the beginning of summer and once at the end. There's this 2-week period in the middle where all of that smell vanishes. And everyone likes it a lot because they are just sick of it by the time the center of the summer comes. But now it's coming back for the final bit, and it's almost sickly sweet in the air. Just row after row after row of this honeysuckle, and it has, in a sense, infected all of the various vegetation across these hills. These like little white flowers coming out of like their natural like honeysuckle bushes, but also vines and trees. And I don't mean that that they have parasitically worked their way around the roots of trees or the trunks of trees. I mean that in addition to whatever a thing traditionally blossoms, it now also blossoms this honeysuckle. And there's a kind of a double bind here, which is no one likes the smell. But what they export is the dew of a honeysuckle here. They collect it. And it is what has brought the Oak Hills any of the wealth that it has. And so we see an image of the Magus with her followers walking past the laborers who are collecting the dew of the honeysuckle into glass jars. I think she probably strikes up a conversation with Harp, Fawn, and Piccolo. She says, "Little boy, how far have you traveled from Barleytown? Have you made it to the Oak Hills before?"
Yeah, I gotta go through Oak Hills to get to Ravenhall.
Well, you don't have to. We're going this way because the Bramble Rock leads us. But you could pass through the woods. You could travel the cliffs. Fawn, you know these ways, yes?
Pretty well.
Piccolo, have you heard Fawn speak? Have people met Fawn, the talking vinegar fox? What is wearing fucking...
I bet those are at least the first words she said since they left Ravenhall.
Okay.
Any familiarity beyond that, who knows? But
yeah, no, that's probably the first time that Piccolo's ever heard an animal talk before. So yeah, he probably does a double take. You make that fox talk?
no one makes me talk.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to assume. I mean, did the Magus? Did you like enchant the fox?
Not all magic is enchantment. And she grins and then just like walks ahead. Some of it is though, and she she says, "Harp, can you go to the hill and see what's ahead?"
It will be done.
Some of it is though. I think that's
Fawn. What's the fanciest word you know?
Gregarious.
That's a fancy word.
Lord. I don't think I have more to that scene. I think it's a good ending to that scene. All right, so Jack.
The morning comes slowly. It is. We know that summer is ending, and
No, you're going somewhere. Now your turn. Harp goes somewhere.
Yeah. I'm moving myself to at
sorry.
dawn.
Ooh, okay. I see. I didn't see that there.
It's hiding there.
Yeah.
First the sky is kind of it's dark blue, and then it's dark gray, and then it's gray, and then in that way that late summer, early autumn mornings are, for a moment the sky is gray, is very bright and gray, and it's cold. There is damp on the ground, dew on the ground, And Harp gets up and strikes one of their hands against their other hand to light a little fire. Puts some sticks together, and in the by the fire as it's warming up, they put a kettle over it to get some some tea going for when other people wake up. I don't think I slept. I think I probably kind of stopped, but I don't think I need to sleep. And then as the light begins to enter the sky properly, they hold their arm out in front of them, and their thumb forms the gnomon of a sundial. And as the sun rises, the shadow moves across the ground around the golem to mark the time that it is.
Started
As
playing music. Sorry.
Good morning. Good morning.
Oh my fucking god.
Good morning, everybody.
Perfect. Good.
Harp has a jukebox that just pops out.
So I'm marking the time as the kettle sort of begins to whistle beside us.
What is from here? Are there other communities here, or is it really just? Is it just farms for as far as the eyes can see? Like
it's not.
Are other people waking up now? So it's kind of what my real question is.
Yeah, but it's not farms. It's a farm. It's one farm. The image that we can see is of these kind of like 4 rolling hills, and the landscape is scattered with these kind of low hills. But it's a gigantic cooperative farm with hundreds of workers who are sleeping, who have made camp, and in fact, I think that's what we see is the embers of the fires of the various other farming and honeysuckle collecting camps as they begin to wake up or change watches.
I like that a lot. Okay, Dre.
I think I'm gonna do the making camp scene.
Okay.
And I think the scene is that Piccolo's out in the woods and he's looking for a specific kind of plant that when you burn it like over the fire, it actually releases kind of a smell that counteracts the sickly sweet smell of the honeysuckle. Because some people were complaining about the smell just being like not letting people sleep at night and stuff, and so he's trying to help out, but he can't find anything. And I think at that point, that's when Caspian comes swooping overhead.
Mm-hmm.
And Piccolo looks up and shields his eyes and goes, "Hey!"
And Caspian does a little loop and then flies back down towards Piccolo. Hey there, boy.
Hey, can I get some help?
And then comes down to a soft landing and does a little hop run off the thing and is like, "What do you need?"
All right, I'm looking for this plant. It's kind of more like a weed. I just thought maybe I haven't been able to find any. I see you flying around up there. I thought maybe you'd seen it. It's got this blue flower.
Caspian has pulled a long toothpick from somewhere and is picking at his teeth.
It's got a blue.
Says Piccolo looking for the weed hookup. True 16-year-old.
Hey man, I saw you were high up there.
trying to look for a plug real quick. Caspian is like, yeah, I don't know that I have, but how about you come up and we'll look around for it.
Wait, hold on. You could take me with you?
I take about a person and a half, and I'm about 3/4 of a person, and I'd say you're about half. So we get a little wiggle room.
This is the most exciting day of my life, mister. What's your name?
I can't believe that Bobby Hill is finally in front of the table. I'm so happy. My name's Caspian. the crab singer, and like does like a little like flourish, like talk like stops picking his teeth, slides the toothpick. It's like a long metal toothpick behind his ear like a pencil, and then does like a little flourish, and sings a little bit of a tune about the weather, and it's just like sunny days Monday through Wednesday, but watch out for Thursday. It's bad, and it's like. It's
Oh
not
no!
great.
What's Thursday? What's Thursday?
We'll find out. I can't read the winds, but I can sense them, and it seems to me that it's rain. It's got to be rain.
Okay, that's not that bad.
Anyway,
Rain
hop
helps
on
things,
board,
right?
and we'll look for this blue flower of yours.
Oh, if I hadn't just seen a talking dog, this would have been the most exciting thing I've seen all week.
Wait a second, that dog talks. The one with the little cape.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is amazing.
You know what it said?
What did it say?
Gregarious.
That's its name is Gregarious.
No,
Gregarious,
I-
the talking
it's-
fox.
No, its name is Fawn. I just asked what the fanciest word it knew was, and it said gregarious.
Its name is
Which is-
Fawn. It's a
which is pretty
fox.
Well, yeah, listen, I don't ask questions. I asked one question and it got real mad.
I'll keep this in mind. Hop on board. Let's find this flower. And
I'm going to say Caspian is kind.
I'll take it. You want to add it to my thing here? My
Oh yeah,
sheet.
I could do that.
It does. It explicitly says to write it down on. Then you write that trait down on the character's note card. So you should do it. Awesome. And then we take off, and I think do we find the flower? Or do we not find it?
I think we find it. You can fly.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We find it. And we just get that little scene. I like it. All right, Janine.
I think I'm gonna go down and do by firelight, a comfort from home.
Okay.
So I think this is, I don't know where this takes place in like the timeline of stuff. It's gonna be in the evening.
Yeah, I think the whole thing here is like the rock.
You're spending some time.
Yeah, the bramble rock. We can only move when the bramble rock moves. So if it decides it
Yeah.
wants to take a rest, it takes a rest.
Yeah. So I think Dawn or Fawn. I was going to call her Dawn. I was reading the word Dawn. Fawn has probably the first day she just dug a little trench to sleep in. She dug out a little hole and just like curled up in there and had a nice time. But by the second night, she probably she sort of comes up with like, no one is probably sure how she did this, but she had some rope and she sort of tied the rope in a very smart and secure formation around this small hollowed out log, as sort of a sling so she could drag it back to the camp. And then she does that, and then she doesn't untie the rope when anyone's looking, but the next time they look back, it's untied, and just like there's just this nice hollow log for her to hang out in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where she probably eats and things like that, just so it's cozier, it's out of sight, it smells very musty, it's cool when it needs to be, but holds the warmth in at night, and is sort of mossy. The wood is very soft, so her claws kind of tear it up when she walks in and out of it. And she has some meat in there that she's eating, and it's just raw meat. She's a dog, like she's a wild dog in nice clothes. So she's just at camp in this hollow log, and there's probably some weird sort of wet gnawing sounds as she's sinking her gold cap teeth into this. It's probably not a super small animal. It's probably like a reasonably sized ground bird or something.
Right. Cool.
And she's sort of tearing the feathers out. So there's probably a lot of feathers around the log also. The comfort from home.
Is this something that? How did this become a comfort from home? Is kind of my question. Like
this is just like her. This is a natural kind of.
Okay, I didn't know if it was
thing for
natural
her.
or taught. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah, no, she she very much like grew up in. She considers herself fortunate to some degree, I suppose, because she was raised out of a hollow log, and there are a lot of hollow logs all over the place. So there's a little
Tell me
taste
about
of
it.
home available for her.
Yeah.
Pretty much anywhere she goes, she can find somewhere to get nice and cozy and feel safe. She
Cool.
considers herself very fortunate for that.
Nice. Do you think you have any other questions? I don't think I do. All right. So I think, obviously Caspian, well, not obviously. You can totally double dip. I don't think the book doesn't say anything about not double dipping. Like, I could go to making camp here, but I really want to see Harper's Road, who Caspian left behind. And I think Harper's Road is called such because there is a traveling, like in the Oak Hills, there is not much wind traditionally, and so instead of having crab singers like you do in Ravenshall and in Astalia, you have harpers who travel the roads, telling stories and singing ballads more than telling news, and the harper is I kind of want Harp to be in the scene with me because of the double thing here. I think we get Caspian leaning on the back of sits down. It's sunset. You can hear the harps in the distance. The harpers work in a trio. They have 3 different sizes of harp that produce different sounds, like different I guess octaves, not octaves, but like, Jack, you're a musician. Like deeper sounds, lower sounds.
Lower octaves?
Octaves, yeah. Lower, middle, and higher octaves. And I think that what happens is Caspian, like, heads down to the ground and, like, pulls out a little notebook, a little, like, hand-made notebook with some leather and some parchment paper that has been stitched together, and goes to lean against a rock. And it is not a rock. It is Harp, who is also seated on the ground, and just like does not realize that this is not a weird rock, that this is a person, and leans back against them. Sorry, what was Harp's pronouns?
They, them.
They, them. Okay, leans against them, and just literally doesn't notice, and starts like, you can hear Caspian like trying to work out a melody. No. No.
The song is improving.
And like jumps up and spins around, and like the jacket that Caspian is wearing like swings open, and this very like dramatic motion. The golem.
I am a beautiful stone.
And so humble too. I didn't see you. Apologies.
These things happen. I have been leant against repeatedly.
At least I didn't land on you, right? Like a bird. Does that
That
happen?
is pleasurable. Frequently when I am a statue, a bird will land upon the tip of my head, or the tip of my rake, or the handle of my sword. And in these moments, I can admire the fine plumage of the brambles and of the flowers.
About halfway through that sentence, Caspian points at you and just holds it there as if like, wait, I'm going to put a pin in the thing you just said because I'm going to have to come back around to it in a second. And he does, and he says, the tip of your rake, the handle of your sword, you feel those things.
It is true.
Those are you, as much as the bald cap of your head, as much as the small nail of your toe.
I am many beautiful rocks.
But also one beautiful rock.
But also one beautiful rock. When the Magus used my rake to break the ceiling of the aviary and release the bramble rock into the sky.
Go back. One more time from the top. When the Magus used my rake to break the aviary, we have to find something else there. It doesn't work.
I'm not helping you write lyrics, Crab Singer.
Why not? It's good to write lyrics. It's a beautiful thing, and collaboration is part of it. I'm always collaborating. Whatever I write would be about you and the Magus and the little swineherd and that fox, that gregarious fox.
Did you know the fox can speak?
This is what I hear.
It is remarkable.
It's already collaboration. So why not help me with the words? And then it's not my song, it's our song, and I get to say it that it's our song.
I cannot sing, but I accept.
I'll do the singing. And just then, there is music in the background. And what you hear is the harpers who walk past, not past, like down another pathway through the woods, across the hills, and you kind of see them. In my mind, they almost look. In my mind, this is like a shot from "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" or something, right? Where like the woods are at once dense, but also very clearly a set, because there are different layers of the woods where it's like not that far away. There's clearly another pathway where there would not traditionally be another pathway where people could cleanly walk. And so you just kind of get like us in the foreground, then a row of plants and trees, and then off in the distance, the harpers who like kind of pass across the back of the set. And they are singing a song about. They're singing a song that it's clear Caspian knows and is trying to ignore, and it is about an orphanage. And it is an orphanage where each verse is about a person. And the first one is about Kabu, and then there's one about Elamora, and then there's one about Justice and Vago and River and Caspian, the one who left them. And it's just like it's basically a song about up to no good 16-year-olds, right? And Caspian isn't 16 anymore. Caspian's like 26. And it's just like a famous folk ballad at this point. And here's a question. Here's a question I don't know the answer to. Is I don't know how long Caspian's been like 26. Because this song is very old. And I think that is Caspian doesn't talk about that song. Caspian doesn't bring it up. Caspian and Harp work on the song that they're writing now. And that is my scene. Jack, you have the Magus.
Oh God, Austin, something just went weird with your mic.
Is that my mic?
It might have been mine. I was
That's
just
not
turning
my
my
mic.
volume back up after blowing my nose.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Well,
So it's
gone
probably
now,
me.
yeah.
Okay, so the Magus takes one coin from her pocket and passes it into her other hand so that it becomes 5. And she uses this money to pay for a rack of little glass jars containing the honeysuckle that she puts in her pack. And she thanks the farmers for, as we leave, the farmers are working all across the hills. We can see the silhouettes of these people, and as they pass down the road, we can hear the harpers singing. They're singing in really close 3-part harmony. And we move on down the road towards Barleytown. Many years ago, Barleytown was a thriving farm where a little girl made a wish, and the wish that she made was that fire would never trouble her family or her people. It's very hard to light fires there. Instead, they heat fires in great pits far outside the town and bring these warm stones that they kept in the fires in, and put the stones in water to boil the water, or lay meat on to cure them. But they eat a lot of fresh fruit, and of course they eat a lot of bread, because their entire town is. You ever see wheat sheaves up in the fields?
Mm-hmm.
Their entire town is built out of great golden stands of wheat and barley. Some are brown, the newer ones are gold. The newer ones still are green and are turning. There are windmills with sails made from silk and barley turning. There are people in the streets. There is this great smell in the air of breweries and of mills, and the sound of millstones turning. And the Magus, followed by the bush dog and the swineherd and the person circling in the sky above them, and the golem carrying a rake and a sword, make their way into this little town. And as they arrive, the Magus stops, and she gets down on one knee and calls out to Fawn. Little dog.
Yes.
I have need for you in this town.
What need would you have of me?
I have heard. You see, I have heard that you are gregarious. And I was never, I was never one for book learning. At least not at first. But I understand that to mean that you're good at talking.
Yes. That hesitation is in character, by the way.
Great. There is a man in this village that it is important for me to see, especially on this journey and especially at this time. But he will not listen to me, and I do not know where he is. So I was wondering whether or not you would be able to find him for me.
You don't know where he is.
He is in Barleytown. That is what I've heard.
Do you have a shoe or a hat that he used to have?
I'm sorry?
A handkerchief would work, or a scarf, the cuff of a pant.
Are we trying
pant
to
leg.
sort of build this man from clothes?
That's not particularly what dogs are known to do, but I suppose that would also work.
I heard you were a haberdasher.
I do a lot of crafts. Do you have like a name?
I will help you. And she produces from her bag one of the honeysuckle bottles that she made, and she stoppers it and pours out the honeysuckle. And then she snaps her fingers over the bottle and says, "You should be able to track him with this," and hands the bottle to you. And on the inside, you can smell like a distinctive perfume.
She hands the bottle to me, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So she puts it in my mouth?
I think.
I guess that's the thing. I should offer that. I would say that Fawn delicately takes the neck of the bottle in her mouth. I hope the top of it is secure.
The top of it is secure, yeah.
Okay.
You will be doing me a great favor. You'll be doing us all a great favor.
I did come on this trip with the expectation that would be the case, yes.
You say around the bottle.
It's mysterious. We're mysterious. No, okay, so I turn my head sideways and then set the bottle down like bottom on the ground so it won't tip over. And then I say that and then I pick it back up and straighten my head.
Thank you.
Mer.
God. Does she find the Barley Lord? Do we get the hospitality? Or are we saving this?
I don't know. I think it's up to you, Janine.
I think that I think she's got this tool to find the Barley Lord, so I imagine she does pull it off. Also, they're referred to as the Barley Lord, so even if they're not like a big king man, like you probably
But maybe
people probably there's right? Like
maybe, I don't know. Who's the
there's
Barley
probably
Lord?
some local notoriety unless that's just like a
shitty name,
unless that's just like a thing he like embroiders on the inside of his shirt so he knows which one's his.
like that mayor or the king or whatever, the king of America.
Oh, what if he's actually made of barley? What if this is like a
Thank you. There it is.
like a figure that has been woven out of barley and
a wicker man?
Well,
a barley.
A wicker
man.
golem?
I guess
that people don't die inside of?
Yeah, the people aren't burnt inside of by Christopher.
By Christopher. That's copyright.
That's a Bluff City character for sure.
I think that yeah, it's this kind of swaying tall barley figure.
Can I
Um,
propose something here?
yeah.
He looks tall, but he isn't. He's just built into the field, and you can only see him from a hill. He's long. He's not tall. He is the field, and if you look at the field just so, with the sun hitting it just right, you can see the figure of a man.
Is this the thing someone would have to be of a person height to
No,
notice?
it's magic.
Okay.
So...
Oh.
Okay. I just wanted to
Shit.
check.
Thomas Herbertson in the chat says John Barleycorn, and I think this is kind of John Barleycorn, right? Like the
Jack, you've lost me.
Yeah,
It's
what
like
the hell
a-
is John
it's like
Barley?
an old, it's like an old English and I guess probably early American folktale about a group of men who are brewing. They're brewing something, but the barley or the wheat is personified in the folktale as this figure called John Barleycorn, who is first buried and then has a bunch of awful things happen to him. But there's it's like a folk tradition of a figure made of barley or wheat. I reckon that's what this is.
There's a version of the song that begins, "There was 3 kings into the east, 3 kings both great and high, and they have sworn a solemn oath. John
Barleycorn must die,
should
right?
die." Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they mean business.
They
That's a
plowed,
good
they
intro.
sowed, they harrowed him in, throwed clods upon his head, till these 3 men were satisfied that John Barleycorn was dead.
Jeez.
Brutal. So that's okay. Good. So you find him, and then
Yep.
what's the hospitality? That's my big question here. It was like, all right, so you find him, you're able to leave the Magus to him.
I think that the Magus goes and sits in the cornfield, and sends us off to a hostel or an inn or a tavern where we're welcomed. I guess those of us that eat bread are given bread, and those of us who eat meat are given meat, and those of us who don't eat stand outside with a rake. And
Is the rock fed? Is the bramble rock fed?
the rock swoops down through one of the fields and picks up little insects and things that are feasting on the fields in the morning. But I think that over the course of the night, we can see the Magus sitting in the field, and it's strange. It's very safe, and she's being very careful. But for the first time in years, there's a little campfire burning beside the Magus' side.
Okay. Dre, you're up.
I'm gonna go see my Aunt Matilda at Aunt Matilda's farm.
Wait, you're from Barleytown, right?
Yeah, who wants to be my Aunt Matilda?
I'll be your Aunt Matilda.
Hell yeah,
It's me.
it me,
Dang
Aunt
Aunt.
Matilda. So yeah, I think the scene is Piccolo comes over a rolling hill, and as he comes down the hill, he sees his Aunt Matilda's little quaint farm where she just grows. Aunt Matilda, what do you grow?
A bunch of stuff. We got corn, we got barley, we got wheat. We got tomatoes, we got corn. Also on top of the tomatoes, we got potatoes. We got out back we have the river, the little creek, and then in the creek we grow out some frogs. We grow out some lizards. We got that snake meat. We got some mushrooms. What else we got? We got firewood. We got timber. We grow everything.
I have to go gigging before I leave Aunt Matilda's.
Mm-hmm. When you show up, she's just like immediately. She's like, galoshes are she says galoshes are on the third shelf. You get out there, you get me some frogs.
All right, Aunt Matilda.
Now, how you doing with that Magus? The Magus treating you all right?
Oh, Aunt Matilda. I don't even know where to start. The Magus ain't even the thing.
Magus
There's a
ain't even a
talking-
thing.
There's a talking fox.
Of course, there's a talking fox. Wherever the Magus go, there's a talking fox.
There's a flying man.
Of course, there's a flying man. Wherever a Magus go, there's a flying man.
There's
a
a
man made of rock. And it has a shovel and a gun.
He's very- I don't know if he's got a gun.
Your old Aunt Matilda,
They,
she
they, them.
knows. Say it again,
Sorry.
Jack?
Oh, you're right.
They, them pronouns.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right, yeah.
They sure are pretty though.
They sure are. How you doing, though? You doing all right? You doing, you talk to your mom and your pa? You send them letters wherever you go?
And I'll see him before I leave.
You
Don't
practicing your writing? Give me the letters. What are the letters? Tell me the letters.
A,
Starts with
B,
A. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. C, D, E,
Mm-hmm.
F.
All right, no, you skip that letters for that letter. You're not allowed to say the F one.
Oh,
Remember,
wait,
that
not even the letter, but
never the letter.
That's how you spell farm.
You can say words that have the letter in it, but you can't say the letter. You little boy, not allowed to say the letter.
Oh, okay. So E, G.
You gotta stretch. That's stretching your mind and your mouth. You stretch your mind,
Okay.
you stretch your mouth. That's how you know you have the limbarity to avoid the demons out there. The demons want you to say that letter, the foul letter, the ferocious letter.
That's the one between the E and the G.
And the G. See, that's a big leap. The distance between R and S, that's a small distance. Distance between M and N, that's the same letter basically. But the distance between E and G, you got a whole different alphabet. I'm just giving you that knowledge. You understand? A lot of people don't have the knowledge to get through the world. A lot of people they don't have a mentor, a tutor. I'm trying to give you something that Magus can never. Why do you think it's Magus and not Magus?
Yeah, but it's getting dark, so I'm gonna go ahead and start getting on them frogs for you.
All right, you better. I need 7 dozen frogs by star up.
That's okay.
I'm trying to make you a mean gumbo.
Okay. I need that flying man to come get me out of this one.
She gave you what she thought you needed.
Yeah, which is not saying the letter F.
Don't say the letter F.
Also have some gumbo.
Also some gumbo. Also like a
With
big
7 dozen frogs.
Well,
It's a
Let me just check
dense
that really
gumbo.
Quick, that's 84 frogs.
Yeah. That's not a gumbo. That's like a...
That's a cake. That's a hot cake. A frog meat.
if you go into the cake, it's hot and warm and delicious. But the cake keeps it good. The cake keeps it good.
Wait.
Are you doing more math?
Seeing how much 84 frogs would weigh.
Don't forget about adding the
Depends on the
cake.
kind of frog.
Also.
I mean,
Yeah, what kind of
They're-
frog are we talking about?
They're tiny frog. Tiny
Okay.
frogs. They're little
how
tiny
she
frogs.
so we're not
prepares
looking at, like,
them. Like, is she
bullfrogs.
soaking them in a kind of syrup first,
They're
or
like
is she just kind of...
fingernail-sized frogs. They're tiny.
You can't go gigging for fingernail-sized frogs.
You can if you use the right galoshes.
That's...
You catch them in the galoshes.
Catch them in the galoshes.
Nearly
You just
2
stomp around.
kilograms.
That's less than I thought.
Yeah, me too. They're pretty light, apparently.
Janine.
Okay. I think that Fawn is on Swine Hill, which is close to where she found the Barley Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she returns there after the Barley Lord business is settled. She returns there because it is a site of some importance to her. Is a site of a battle fought long ago. And I think she sort of in this moment is alone, and the wind is blowing through the sort of dry grasses. And she stands up in that like unsteady way that animals kind of stand up, where like their front legs are kind of like not quite curled up, but they're like kind of hanging, but a little bit curled, and they're like a little floppy. And like her back muscles aren't super built to stand up for a long time, so there's a bit of unsteadiness there. But she is trying to stand thoughtfully and kind of look out across the distance, and sort of breathing in the fresh air. And she remembers that during that battle, the air was not fresh. It was thick with smoke, very acrid smoke, the kind that makes your eyes water and makes your nose burn. And she was fighting Pompona Legatus, the hog general.
Of course.
And it was not a noble fight. I mean, Fawn was very much there to eat and kill Pompona's people. Um, and Pompona had a home field advantage. This was her territory, and she had made better use of it. The hill in particular. Um, there is a strategic advantage to being at the top of the hill when your opponent is coming up the side of it. And Fawn did not win that particular fight, but she lived. She lived and she respected her opponent.
What is Pompona? What are Pompona's people like at this point? Are they
They're pigs.
okay? But do they talk? Do they have a culture at this point? Or did you come
I
out
don't
of it as
think.
the one with a cape?
I think that is the thing. Is Fawn is the bush dog with the cape, and Pompona Legatus was the pig with the helmet.
Right.
Um, and that was part of why she was the leader and why she was such a ferocious figure, even against Fawn.
Hmm.
But this was very long ago, and Pompona is long dead, almost certainly.
Did they have like a successor?
If they do, Fawn doesn't know about it, I don't think. I mean, I'm not from Barleytown. I don't really know the structure of the hogs anymore. At the time, there may have been, but at the time, I'm gonna say at the time she had a squire. Not necessarily a squire, but an understudy type squire figure, a lesser who was able in similar ways to her, and it's possible that they are still around, but it's also possible that they are long gone.
Cool. I don't think I have any other questions. This is back around to me. Caspian is going to the market, and he has his kite strapped to his back, like a backpack, and he's going from stall to stall, and is buying up what he thinks he needs from the journey. The farmers market at Barleytown organizes once every 2 weeks, and everyone from not just Barleytown, but all the surrounding farming villages all come in. It's not, and I mean everyone the way everyone goes to church in Puritan New England. Like, this is the thing you do. You go to farmers market. It is a responsibility, not an opportunity. And that means that there are lots of people there who I have to sell something this week. Shit, I don't have. Okay, I guess we're gonna sell this at a ridiculously high price so nobody buys it. Or someone who is hell yeah, I'm gonna get rid of all this bullshit that I have, that I've been trying to clean out my garage for a long time, and it's yard sale time basically. And so we just get shots of Caspian. I think I want Piccolo with me, because this is your hometown, and so you Caspian all right, Piccolo, you got to tell me where the deals are. I'm trying to make deals here, and it's at this point, the kite has there's netting attached to it, and it's already beginning to be filled up. There is a small keg of some sort of liquor. There are, what else is in there? There's a lot of what else is in there? I keep thinking of liquor, and that's not the only thing. There are some smoked meats that have been wrapped in parchment that are in there. Rope. There's just a lot of, there's a huge a huge what's the thing I'm thinking of? Coil of rope that is attached to the kind of surfboard part of this air kite, or this whatever I'm calling this thing. I'm just gonna call it a kite. The bottom of it, where the footboard is. There's like a little miniature ladder that you'd have to build, but the parts for it are all over the kite at this point, like attached in various places. Um, and he pulls out a long list and leans down to so that Piccolo can see it. And he's like, "All right, we still need ink. We still need snowshoes. We still need 7 candles." And an oil lantern. God, what else do we need for a trip to Umbra?
You need any frogs?
I think we can find frogs wherever we go.
Oh, but I got some.
With you?
I
Maybe
mean-
we could sell the frogs and then use the money to get more rope. Thin rope. We need thin rope. We already have thick rope. I'm gonna need to get some thin rope. And he spent a little bit of time looking for someone who can tell him what he needs to get to Umbra. Does anyone want to play a con artist?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Janine, you do. What's this con artist like? Who is going to convince Caspian to buy a bunch of shit that they do not need to get to Umbra?
I think they are very tall, like unsettlingly tall, but also inconveniently tall. Like they lead a slightly inconvenient life. And also have that sort of hunch that many tall people have when they're sort of used to sort of trying to physically minimize themselves.
Yeah.
This is not a person with a confident bearing.
Right.
I think he also has very long hair, and it's braided, and the braid is sort of folded up end over end, so it's this kind of like oblong braided bun on the back of his head. And he's wearing very subdued colors. Like there is nothing outwardly that distinguishes him other than his height from those around him.
What is it that does Caspian go to him, or does he go to Caspian? Does he overhear Caspian say Umbra? Or is this Caspian looking over stuff and talking? How does he know he has a mark?
I imagine that Caspian is browsing, and there are probably a lot of people who are very straightforward in trying to sell their goods. Just like, do you like that thing? And then Caspian's like, no, I'm just looking. And they're like, okay.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of that. But this person is immediately more engaged. Like just browsing means to him, talk to someone until they buy the thing and tell them whatever they want to hear until they buy the thing. Like high pressure, but careful about it in a way that is deceptive and troublesome.
Right. So you Caspian being picking up bar after bar of chalk. How much chalk do you need to get to Umbra?
That depends. Are you going to cross the chalk bridge?
The chalk bridge? I didn't.
Well, it's called the chalk bridge kind of colloquially. It's a little more complicated than that. You've never made the trip before, have you?
No, this is my first time. I'm going with the the Magus. We're taking
the first trip is quite difficult without a guide.
Do you have any guidebooks?
I don't, but I can give you some advice.
Y'all talk about the chalk bridge? I heard about the chalk bridge.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, my aunt told me about the chalk bridge.
It's I've made the trip several times myself. Unfortunately, I can't avail myself for any price to go with you and help you. But I can definitely give you some advice for the trip. The chalk bridge is, of course,
the advice is free, of course.
The advice is free. Yes.
Okay.
The chalk bridge is, of course, it's an invisible bridge, you see, and generally it's seen the only way to cross it is to use chalk to mark the footing ahead of you, so that you know where it is safe to cross, so that you don't plunge in to the fathomless abyss below.
Of course.
There are actually multiple of these chalk bridges. They are sort of broken up along the way. So generally it is encouraged to bring at least 10 sticks of chalk.
All right, 10 at least.
Yeah,
At
should we
least.
bring
That's-
like 11
that's honestly-
just to make
Yeah,
sure?
11. 11
Yeah,
sounds...
10 is cutting it a little short. You might have to go back and rub some of the chalk from the other places on your fingers and then transfer it over, and that's a very difficult,
Let's make it an
time-intensive
even
process.
dozen. Let's just get all the chalk. Even
Yes,
dozen
that's-
sticks of chalk. I'll get the dozen sticks.
They
we
also
always
sometimes
need
add new
chalk.
bridges. Sometimes they're just building new ones, so there might be new ones since I last
Okay,
traveled.
okay,
I
we'll
don't
get the
know.
chalk. Okay, what else? How about oranges? I know that scurvy is a problem, and I don't want to get. There's a child. We're traveling with a child. I can't have this little kid get scurvy.
Children will get scurvy if they don't eat oranges for like at least 3 days. So
I don't want scurvy.
you're going to want to make sure that you have oranges
Hey,
to make sure that child eats an orange at least every other day.
Can
At the
talking
very
dogs
least.
get scurvy?
Talking dogs can get double scurvy. Sorry.
Double scurvy.
What is?
I think we just get a cut from that to then us returning back to the camp, and it is the entire, like, the kite just has this huge netting to the left and the right of it, almost like two huge, like almost like brown bags, like from a grocery store, just like chalk, oranges, various lengths of rope, various sizes of rope, mugs. There's definitely a folding chair in there.
Air fresheners.
Definitely air fresheners. What else? What other stuff is just in there that makes no sense?
Sort of inflatable floats.
Yes. But they float in the air. They don't float in the water.
Yeah.
They sink in the water. If they touch
Oh
water,
no, Austin! They float in the air when they've been inflated, and they have
Right.
not.
they have not been inflated. No. There's a model of the kite that Caspian has, like, inside of one of these pockets. It's just like a 1/3 scale to the kite. It doesn't work. It's made of wood. But I was convinced that I needed it to get past the little doppelganger who needs to copy something, and you have to make sure it's not your vehicle. So I had to have a little one for the little doppelganger. Yeah, I think that's. I don't know. I'm going to pull from this bag of tricks throughout the rest of this journey, so that's good.
It's good.
But also
Fertile
broke.
ground.
No money anymore. Harp.
I am going to go to the Inn of the Axe and Fiddle.
Ooh.
The Inn of the Axe and Fiddle is owned by a man called Axe. He's a large guy with a big lumberjack's axe on his back, and by his husband, a guy called Fiddle, who is a musician. They are both what's the word I'm looking for? They're barley golems.
Okay.
And they run this local. That everybody is at. Axe and Fiddle don't seem to work at the bar. There are bartenders working at the bar, but they're talking to various people and they're hanging out. Does anybody want to play either of these folks?
I can be Fiddle. No, I'm
Okay.
gonna be Axe because I think Fiddle might be a little bit too much like Caspian.
Okay,
My Fiddle would have been.
you're diversifying the characters.
Yep.
And I think that there are musicians playing. There is a band. The musicians have a cello, they have a concertina, and they have a clarinet. And there is someone singing. And they're human, but they are singing a song from the perspective of a stone golem.
Mm.
And they're singing a song about a kingdom long ago, deep beneath the earth, where the golems built golems and sent them up to the surface above. And they're singing about how they're singing a story about a war, and they're singing a story about a long period of dormancy. And the chorus is about how the golems can't sing anymore, so they have instructed the singer to convey this song.
Yes.
And Harp is sitting there listening as Fiddle comes up to him. Them, sorry.
Who's playing Fiddle?
Oh, sorry, Axe. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I didn't know if I thought Fiddle was there now too.
No, just Axe.
I have a question, out of character, briefly. Is the song only about stone golems that they can't sing, or all golems can't sing?
I think all golems can't sing,
This
but
is a
the
goddamn lie, says Axe. I have an incredible singing voice.
song is a lie.
Song's a lie. How do you think Fiddle and I wound up together? That man loves my singing voice. Heard
Why
me
aren't
out.
you joining them?
It's a song about us. Let other people sing it. Not as interesting if we sing it. Used to not be able to sing, but I found something I loved. Chopping wood. And I found the song. That's the difference. That's the thing the song gets wrong. See, people, they'll sing about anything. They'll sing about a beautiful morning or an ugly morning. It doesn't make a difference. Either way, you'll make a song. Things like us, we got to find the thing that's in us. For me, I held the axe in my hand and I swung it and it hit the tree and I found the rhythm. And I said, oh, chopping the wood, chop. And I went back and pulled it back. Oh, and like people are and I kept singing. Just like does a little nod at the people on the stage to be like, I'm not going to ruin the fact that you just sung a song about how I can't sing. And
You have a beautiful voice.
that's what Fiddle always says.
I love my vocation. It is true. And yet I cannot sing.
And it's not about a vocation. It's about a thing that has a song in it. We're things. We're thing people. They're people. They find it somewhere else. They find it in ideas or in memories. I find it we're stuff, man. There's no gender neutral version of man, and there needs to be I guess he probably knows your name, right? Maybe knows your name. So
Yeah, I think so.
So we're stuff, Harp.
I am made of denser stuff than you. Barley is light. What I am made of, it is beautiful, but it is heavy. And I fear that to find the thing will take time. And time is not something that I or my party have. But I will walk, continuing to carry my rake in my right and my sword in my left, and I will hope, Axe, that my song is about one rather than the other.
I was lucky. I got an axe. I didn't have to make a choice. I only do a couple things with an axe, and the stuff you do good with it is you chop down wood.
And I think that over at the bar, Fiddle has got some ale or something and brings it over, and then realizes Axe's guest is also a golem, and golems can't drink beer, so just sort of puts it down. And I think these three golems hang out.
Yeah.
Talking about what golems talk about, which I think is honestly, what we've talked about. They talk about things. Golems talk about stuff.
Yeah.
And getting stuff and what stuff is and what it means and how to interact with it.
Cool. All right, I think we're done with Barleytown. Dre, you have to move, and I think you're gonna have a choice.
Ooh.
Let's peel
Ooh, look,
this
a fork
back.
in the road.
Yeah. All right.
Go the way
Stormguard
with the
Mountains.
chalk bridge, please.
Listen, if there's a fucking chalk bridge here, or if there's like a situation, I'm gonna lose my shit.
That'll be hilarious.
All right, so we can either go through the Stormguard Mountains, or we can go through Mistwood. What does the Magus choose to do?
We are going to go through the Stormguard Mountains.
Hell yeah. Tell us about the coming storm. I told you Thursday was going to be bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know what happened? We messed this all up, and we started going through the Stormguard Mountains Thursday morning. And it's raining, and it's bad rain. I mean, it's coming down in sheets. And the Stormguard Mountains, like, it could be quick if you walk through here, but people decided a long time ago that it wasn't worth the trouble. So the paths are not good. I mean, they're very small, they're very narrow, they're very windy. And it's very easy to lose your footing. I mean, there's definitely like that classic shot of like somebody steps somewhere and like a bunch of rocks tumble like 2 inches from where their foot was.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody kind of like looks at each other like, I don't know about this. But the Magus makes it a little tolerable.
How does she do that?
She summons like a shimmering shield above everyone, and so she can't make the paths any better or any less tight, but at least people aren't getting soaking wet anymore.
Got it. How's the rock doing? Can the rock fly through this, or is this as far as the rock takes us?
Sorry, when you said the rock, I thought you meant Harv.
Oh, sorry. The ROC, the Bramble Rock.
Yeah. No, the air's too thin.
Oh, interesting. So does the Magus tell us that? Does the Magus say, like, of course, we can't go much further, or is this a silent thing that we just all have to fucking figure out for ourselves?
Silent.
Okay. At this point, I think we just get like a good. I just really want a good, like long wide shot of the group in the mountains. And I really just want Caspian to be wearing this fucking kite like a backpack that is the least aerodynamic, the least comfortable, least like manageable thing. It's way too big, and the storm doesn't. It's too stormy to have that up in the air. All right, Janine, tell us where Fawn goes here. I think some of these things double exist, maybe? It's hard for me to tell.
Yeah, it feels like we're missing a thing with... Well, I guess the other ones don't have a thing with the categories or whatever either.
What do you mean?
None of these have, like, adjectives.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not... Instead, in fact, we have our first peril. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I think camping and by moonlight are both shared here. Is what I'm going to say. Those both seem like things that could happen in Stormguard Mountains, right?
I don't know if that's true, though.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. It's weird because...
Like, look at Wild Altar up near the Hall of the Woods.
Maybe they are because, Hall of the Woods has 5 things.
Yep.
But then Mistwood has 4.
Mm-hmm. And Stormguard has 3. If that's how it cuts. If it is only under. I think it's totally... I don't think Trail of the Rangers belongs to Stormguard Mountains or foraging. Let's maybe just say camping, Storm Queen, scouting ahead and taking shelter.
I don't think there are trees on this mountain. There don't look like there are any trees on this mountain
fair.
thing. So,
That's
but
fair.
camping makes sense. Okay, I think the worsening weather. So
Is that Storm Queen's Pass, right?
yeah, Storm Queen Pass. There's like no good place to put this little token.
No, there isn't. Let's put it to the left a little bit. That's fine.
Here.
Yeah.
So I think a storm is coming, and also because we're in the mountains, there is probably snow, and it's probably quite cold, and Fawn is very low to the ground. Again, not like she's not tiny. She's a wild dog, but it is probably slightly harder going for her than for others, especially because she's from the Mistwood. Like, she's from slightly more temperate. It's still probably not warm there, but slightly more temperate than mountains, surely. And so I think that even with her little boots and her little cloak and stuff, she's having a hard time and has to kind of go at the end of the group so that the snow is already kind of tamped down for her. And she's very quiet through this. Like, she, in general, does not speak unless spoken to. Does not speak in her speak voice, like
Speak voice.
human language voice, unless she's addressed. But she is also vocal in like a dog voice. So there's probably a lot of like little, like really tiny, like annoyed barks, like grumbly little barks, and whines and stuff like that. But she doesn't actually put voice to her discomfort unless someone like talks to her about things. She probably. I just glanced at the chat and someone mentioned, like, does she make herself snowshoes? I don't know. We had a chance yet, so I don't think she has. If there was an opportunity,
I went shopping.
Oh boy.
I got us snowshoes. I got snowshoes for everybody. I made mention of this. I mean, just and Caspian, like, we're like underneath an overhang and like pulls out from the back of the kite glider backpack, little tiny snowshoes.
Oh my god.
They're the wrong size, but they're as close as he could get, and he didn't know your size.
How tiny are they?
They're like doll shoes. They're doll snowshoes, but they're real. They're real snowshoes, but they're for dolls. I know you're a dog and not a doll, but they'll fit. We can open up the top a little bit, and you really talk. You just said, "Oh."
Well,
grin.
yeah.
I'm sorry. This is rude. Here are the snowshoes. If you can get them to work, they're yours.
I mean, if you, I've got an awl, so I can open up the leather a little bit and probably get some new lace holes in there. It shouldn't. I just need like maybe 10 minutes, and I can probably make these work.
You have an awl? What?
And awls are pretty useful all-around tools. Pretty much, I am more surprised that you don't have an awl, frankly.
Well, some of us have awls, and some of us have toothpicks, and pulls the toothpick out from behind his ear, which is basically like an awl minus the handle. I was just going to use this, but the thing that's surprising me is you know how to work on shoes?
I mean, it depends on the kind of shoe. If you want like a court shoe, I can't really do much about that, but basic footwear, basic leather work. It's not, it requires more patience than anything else.
Loafers? You can make loafers.
Not stylish ones.
Okay, what about like riding boots?
Again, that's a lot of what you're asking here. It's like a double faceted, like people usually wear it for style as much as function, so it's difficult.
You have a really nice hat.
Thank you, I made it.
All right, before I go, just two more things. One, I just like takes a deep breath. I don't know you real well, but I need you to have this, and hands you an orange. I heard about the double scurvy, and I just need you to know if you ever need another orange, you let me know. Also, and this has to stay between you and me, and also Piccolo, but we got some of this blue herb, and it just helps a lot with the anxiety, and gives you a little parchment, not parchment, a little like pouch, and just like puts it in front, like goes to put it in your hand, like lifts your hand up, and then, you don't have human hands, puts it down in front of you, and it's just like opens the pouch a little bit.
I'm a dog?
Yeah, same.
What does that mean?
Like, yeah, dog. Like,
No, I mean like I eat animals. And I don't like smoke or whatever you're offering.
partake, please.
Don't partake.
Okay, well,
I can't hold. I don't
it's
have
fine.
like I don't
It's
have
fine.
a.
It's fine. It's fine. And like closes the pouch. The pouch is a little strap. Closes the pouch, connects it to the side of his belt.
If you had like a hookah,
if I had a hookah,
that'd be easier because I can't like hold.
Of course,
You know.
I have a hookah. How are we going to get through the hookah mines without a hookah? And pulls the hookah off the backpack and sets it up. And listen, I know you eat meat or whatever, but double scurvy is really serious. I'll cut it up. I don't want you getting sick. I'm not going to leave anybody behind. I don't want to tell a sad song. No more sad songs. That's my rule.
I mean, I'll try the orange.
We could put it in some rice and meat dish and a nice, like a citrusy. I don't have any rice. I didn't get any rice. Shit.
I'm trying to think if citrus is poisonous to dogs.
Oh, that would be the worst outcome.
I don't remember.
oranges
Tomatoes
are.
I know are bad.
Yeah, they can't have grapes either.
Well, I'm going to make a ruling. They can have oranges. And we spend the night doing hookah and getting oranges and eating oranges.
Not toxic to dogs.
Thank
Yep.
Good. There you go.
you. Is that the end of your scene?
I think so.
The next morning, Caspian's gone. It is the eye of the storm, and he has gone east. He's taking advantage of the fact that the snow, or that the storm has cleared for a moment, because you're in the middle, and it wants to see what's ahead and whether or not he doesn't know it's the eye of the storm. That's the thing, right? He's like, oh, the storm seems to have cleared. I can get up in the sky for a little bit. So when you wake up, you find these like huge netted bags filled with all the shit that he has that's normally attached to the kite. He's up in his glider, going east. What's up?
I just looked at the chat again. And Lily says, "Are oranges toxic to dogs? Toxic to nasty get off of."
I also very much like Dre's thing in the chat, which is 1, make sure to give her daily orange. Yes, thank you, Dre. 2, has enough manual dexterity for making shoes but can't roll a joint. Good.
If she had a tool for it, I'm sure that would help.
Oh, that's the part. Okay.
All right. A numbered story prompt. So where I'm going is I'm going to scouting ahead. When a numbered story prompt is a peril, describe the first line as you would a regular story prompt. When you're finished, roll a die and describe the result. So, so the danger that I fear is that I'll get up in the air and that when I look down across the other side of these mountains, I'm afraid that I have a lot of fears. Small fears are things like I won't have enough chalk. Oh my God, we're going to need 15 things of chalk. The thing that I'm actually afraid of, the danger that I actually fear, is that I'm not going to come back with any meaningful news. And that means that the Magus will not find me useful, and that I will be finally whatever small amount of utility I've offered thus far, even if that utility is just amusement, it will dry up, and I will lose this little group that I've been traveling with for a couple of weeks now, and have to find more winds to live on. And I like these ones. So that is what I'm afraid of. I'm going to roll my dice. Roll 1d6. That's a 3. So news from the east. Huh. I'm going to look ahead.
Hey, good news.
Yeah, I guess it's good news, right? I mean, it's good news in that I have news.
Yeah.
I'm going to peek.
I'm not looking.
You don't have to.
I'm in another tab.
Okay.
I don't want to see what's coming next.
Okay. The storm has started back up. It is nighttime and you've traveled on. And it takes you a moment to make sense of what you see, um, because there is a bright, shining light in the sky. And coming down in the storm at night is a torch attached to a kite. And the torch is it is made of a stern metal, and the fire is determined not to go out. And Caspian like nearly crashes into the snow into a bank on the side of one of these mountainous hills, and catches up with everyone, and says, "Oh, news to the east. There's a place. It's safe and it's warm and it's a castle and a queen. And I told her the Magus was coming and she can't wait to see us. She gave me this torch. It doesn't go out. It doesn't go out. The light stays. It's magic. It's real magic. The magic is still here out east. It hasn't stopped yet. And the wind, separate from the storm, just a day, the wind, I could float. And there are drums. Drums even further east than that. Magus. However I pronounce your name. What would a queen want with you?
I don't know. That is why we're going on this journey, is it not?
I'm following you.
Well, I'm glad to know that there is a place ahead of us for us, and I'm even more glad to know that the magic is still alive. But Caspian, I do not know what is ahead of us. The rock did, but the rock can't come with us at this point.
I have a torch now. The torch will show us. She said as much. And the wind catches the light of the torch, the fire, the flame of the torch. You can feel the wind on your face cutting across it, from east to west. But the torch's flame blows from west to east. It's no bird of wood, but it'll point us in a direction. And like Caspian walks back over and reattaches it to the very top of the glider and puts it back on his back. And like steps back in line. And he doesn't say anything else. That's it. He's back and is happy to have this very clear reason for why he gets to be here. That's my scene. Harp. Yeah.
I'm gonna pick by moonlight, who these trees remind you of.
I think we said we weren't going to do that, but
oh, did we decide that one is out of bounds?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's camping and
it's
taking
camping,
shelter.
taking shelter. Yeah.
Okay, let me.
So
think.
again, like I think if you have a really good by moonlight, we could be coming down the other side of the hills back into the woods. Do you know what I mean? But like,
yeah, I mean,
I
think that like narrating where the next place is, should be up to Janine, and like I don't know.
That's fair.
I'm happy to go with one of these two. Okay, I'm gonna pick taking shelter. and we take shelter in the arm of in the palm of a gigantic stone hand that is attached to a stone arm that is attached to a stone shoulder, and the head is long gone. And Harp is able to tell that this wasn't a giant golem. Giant golems existed a long time ago. This is a statue of one, way up here in the mountains, and the kind of the crook of the fingers provides some shelter from the winds as they go around the mountain. And as everybody is sheltering in this, Harp tells a story, and the story is of a great golem long ago. This story is probably apocryphal. Even the golems know this story is probably apocryphal. It's of a great golem long ago that saw the shape of the world, the curve of the planet, and realized that the proto mountains and the rivers and the shapes of the hills and the like early structures and things reflected a shoulder or an arm. And so dug up clay from great mines and began to pile clay and stone and wood and metal onto the land to try and build these golems. But the land is vast and old, and as soon as the golem paid particular attention to fingernails, the shoulders were eroding in rainfall or avalanches. When the golem paid too much attention to trying to make the hair of a particularly good figure on a mountaintop somewhere 300 miles away, a mudslide took out the work that was there, and over centuries, millennia, the landscape of the bodies of the golems softened, and those are the hills and rivers and mountains that we see today.
Does the Magus believe this story, or add to it, or just remain quiet?
I think the Magus,
or I guess you said it was known to be apocryphal, right?
Well, so I think the golems know it's apocryphal, or the golems believe it to be apocryphal, and the other members of the party believe it to be apocryphal. And Harp finishes the story, which is told very flatly. Harp is not a great storyteller. There is a long pause, and then not so much as it's a revelation, just as though it's a thing that the old woman knows is going to put the cat among the pigeons. The Magus sort of leans forward and says, "Yes, I knew him," and then sort of conversation dries up for the rest of the night.
Oh, okay, yeah, good, perfect. Oh. I think it's Dre's turn.
Yeah. So I guess I'll do camping.
What runs out? That's a good one. That's a good prompt.
So as we're getting close to the end of the mountains and the eye of the storm is passing and we're entering into the other end of the storm, the Magus goes to summon her umbrella spell for us again. And it happens, and then they start to spring some holes and leaks, and then they're just gone.
Oh no.
Oh.
So maybe there is magic in the east, but it's not the kind that keeps us dry.
Okay. Huh. I actually like that a lot. What's can you tell me more about how Piccolo camps? Like, does Piccolo know how to camp? Did Piccolo grow up in a culture of camping and outdoor?
Oh, hell yeah.
So
Listen.
Talk to me about camping. Please give us a camping lesson.
So Piccolo doesn't have a tent or anything.
Yeah.
But I think he does have a nice sleeping bag with him.
Okay.
And I think he's very glad that Caspian is back, because when Caspian was gone, he was carrying his sleeping bag and all his stuff and all of Caspian's stuff.
Good.
But But no, I think he just has like a really nice waterproof sleeping bag that Aunt Matilda made for him. And he's comfortable. He is used to working to the point to where it's not hard for him falling asleep. And that's kind of what this trip is. And so it's very easy. I mean, he still like he views the stuff at the end of the night as like these are the house chores that you do after a day of farm chores.
Right.
So like making a fire, cooking dinner, like it's just what you do. So he's pretty happy to do that stuff. And when it's time to go to sleep, he's out. He's done.
I just want a picture of like the end of the gumbo. Like the pot is empty. We're out of gumbo finally. It's carried us this far. No more gumbo. No more gumbo cake. All right.
Gumbo cake is not a good combination of words.
No.
You say that, but I guarantee you New Orleans can make that work.
Oh, okay. Yes.
You know.
Googling gumbo cake. Hold on.
That's the problem is New Orleans wouldn't make that work. It would be some weird super white Twitter video cooking thing.
That would just be
And it's like,
stolen.
oh, you put peas in it and just
Oh, do you mean this video or this picture of shrimp gumbo cake? That is the first thing that popped up that's on Pinterest.
I hate everything. I'm so mad. Why did I say anything? I just wanted some
There you
gumbo
go.
cake.
There you go.
I just wanted gumbo cake. This is
But
not what I
in
need.
reality, I could see you doing like kind of like a grits
Okay.
and gumbo cake like combination that probably wouldn't be too bad.
That's what I'm trying to say. Exactly. Okay. Janine, it's your turn to be the Magus.
oh boy, there's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's go through there.
Oh man, this is Alana Storm Queen, like the Storm Queen of Storm Queen Pass.
Uh-huh.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Castle Stormguard, the hospitality of Alana Storm Queen. Okay. So we make it through the mountains. Or actually, I guess this castle seems to still be kind of
Yeah.
in the mountains,
I
huh?
think it is. But
We
it's
could
like,
say it's like on that downward facing slope.
yeah,
but
totally, exactly.
I think that okay. What have we already established about this queen? Just that she wants to see
The Magus.
the Magus?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that Alana Storm Queen has an obligation where anyone who makes it through that pass, she is obliged to have them at the castle. This is, I would say, a contract that is poorly understood by those who benefit from it.
Uh-huh.
But it is still one that is beneficial, even if the source of it could be either wonderful or sinister. It could be some sort of horrible thing she did in the past. It could be because she's so nice. No one really enters into it knowing. I don't know that the Magus is an exception to that, but knows enough to know that this is sort of a trustworthy port in a storm kind of thing.
Right.
I think that there is some pomp surrounding the arrival of the guests of the group, but it is the kind of pomp that feels routine. Like these streamers don't come down.
Right.
They are maybe even looking a little bit they're looking a little faded. There's an open air courtyard that is quite brisk, but the sun comes in and has sort of sapped the color from these streamers, and they're probably a little bit overdue to be replaced if they really want to keep the festive spirit strong. Which she is obliged to do. And I think there is, as part of this sort of celebratory welcoming, There's food, there's entertainment, but these are all people who are part of the regular uh, the hustle and bustle of the castle. These are people who, the entertainers probably also work in the stables, or
Mm-hmm.
they just happen to, everyone who is employed here has a sort of secondary party career that they employ when needed,
Right.
which is why Alana keeps them there.
Are they also like obliged to do this? Like, this isn't just like, oh, by the way, on the side I do whatever with parties. It's like this is part of what living at Castle Stormguard is like.
I think so. I don't think they have to be here. I think
Okay.
this is very much a kind of thing. This is probably a very good place for like farmhands who have these grand dreams about going somewhere and being a singer or whatever, and maybe they
Sure.
can't quite do that, but they can still hold court with Alana Storm Queen and still sort of do this thing that they have experience with, and also this thing that they enjoy. She probably recruits people like that very specifically. Um, I don't know that it's like a wonderful place to be, but there are certainly worse places.
Hmm. Cool. Does the Magus know Alana Storm Queen?
Um,
Or
I
like,
think the
go ahead.
uh, I think the Magus knows of her
Hmm.
because her contract is a subject of great speculation and curiosity.
Gotcha. But this is the first time they're meeting.
I think so, yes.
Cool. Any other details from anybody here? Or questions or anything else?
Mm, I don't think so.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Also, how are we feeling? How is attention and tiredness and hunger?
I could do with taking like a break maybe.
Yeah, I could use a
Yeah,
bathroom
let's take a
break.
quick break, and then we'll wrap back around. We will be back in a moment once I put up this thing. I'm gonna mute us, and then we're gonna. Okay, all right. We'll be right back.
Okay, so that's good.
we're back. We're all back now. We're
Hello.
back. Hi.
Hello.
We are in the Castle Stormguard, and I've had a lot of time to think about my scene. And I think that my scene is going to be in the Court of Swords. But first, I need to know what a Court of Swords is besides a different actual plaything.
Court of Swords.
Yeah. Here's what I know about it. I know that there's a disagreement, and I need someone to play the Magus for me.
Is it like a tennis court but for fencing?
Yeah, I think so. So I think I'm fencing the
Oh my god,
the
that's
Magus.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's the
Is it
most
like
obvious
a-
thing. That's
Yeah.
A
great.
non-fatal trial by combat kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I think it's just straight up fencing. I think that there's gear and you put on, or like it's a similar, maybe it's a unique sort of fencing. Like maybe it's like, there's lots of types of sword combat, martial combat, or martial kind of sword sport. And so maybe it's a very unique one. What sort of sword sports would Castle Stormguard use? Like, do you strap certain types of armor on you, or are the swords made of heavy stone? Are they, there's magic here, so here's what I think it is. I think it is, do you know the torch that I have? It's like that with, in that, like, it is a handle that then spits up a whip of flame that's sturdy, that is, like, solid. And when when it moves, it actually does blow in the wind a little bit. But then when it strikes you, it leaves a light burn mark. But it won't burn you. It won't stab you. You won't bleed. You will be marked by it. And so the Court of Swords is filled with these professionals who have all of these like scars all over their body, but those are signs of experience, and so like those people are treated with incredible respect. The bulk of those scars are also like on their arms, because it's like 1 point for an arm hit, 2 points for a body hit, 3 points for a face hit, right, or a head hit or something. And so that is how it is. It's like fire sword fencing. It's all slashes. There's no push. There's no stabs. There's no like. I think it's a rule because it's too dangerous. Because if you push in with the fire, it would be too hot, and it wouldn't break. It only breaks on a snap, on a whip, and so it has to be these like long, very beautiful slashes. And so like we just get this outside shot of these people, in this court in between. It's kind of like it is like a courtyard basically. Where in individual little arenas, basically, I imagine them very much like fenced-in tennis courts almost. There are people doing these sport duels with fire whipping all around them. It's very cool, and I, Caspian, am fencing the Magus and having a conversation about magic. Who wants to be the Magus?
Janine, have you played the Magus yet?
I don't think so.
You should play the Magus.
Okay.
And so it's like this, I'm 3 points down already or something. I'm like 2 games down, 2 matches down in the set or whatever. And I'm like, I didn't expect you to be good with a fire sword, Magus.
Well, understanding how things work is a very important part of using them well.
I get that. And it's like round 3 or something. There's like a caller who's watching, and comes in with like a series of swift attacks and parries and all that, and then just like whoosh, slaps and catches me on my arm again, and it goes back to stance and takes position, and then says, all right, so tell me, Magus, you got me, you got the swineherd, you got the golem, and you have that brilliant little dog thing. I need to know, what is all this about? Are you bringing magic back? Everywhere?
Well, that's an ambitious option. May even not be an option. There's a degree of gambling to this journey.
Caspian narrows his eyes. I get that the journey is a gamble. There's the hills and the mountains and the chalk bridge, and I get that we might not make it to Umbra, but I thought you'd have an idea of what would happen when we got there. And then comes in for another. Go ahead.
Sorry. When you go to a bakery, you would go with an expectation of what you would like. You can say, I would like to go there and get some bread. But they may have different kinds of bread, and you may decide upon seeing a very nice braided loaf that you would prefer that to the rustic loaf that you got last week.
Is that, and then sword, and then I think Caspian gets a hit in. Just an arm hit, but a hit. This isn't a bakery, this is Umbra, Magus. We're not going for braided loaf. This is where magic was born. And I like a braided loaf, don't get me wrong. But magic is magic.
It is where magic was born and where magic continues to live, and magic changes over time, and what you go there expecting may not be what you leave with.
Point. Magus. I think the Storm Queen is calling this match, actually, because of the options that are on the table for this dice roll that's about to happen. Okay, I get it. I just think that it's a good idea to have some plans. Some of us aren't ancient magi. I don't even know how to say your name.
Maggie.
Some of us, listen, Maggie. All of us have long histories here. Even the little swineherd, Piccolo, has family. It's one thing to be a wandering source of power who breaks glass ceilings, literally, and frees giant birds and wanders into the wilderness when you are a being as powerful as you are. It's another thing when you're a living rock that has a sword and a rake. When you're a little boy who doesn't even understand why you're not allowed to say F. I just want to know what we're doing this all for. I don't think that's too much to ask.
We are doing it to sustain. The same reason you go get bread, because you need to eat. We're going to get magic because we need magic.
We as in our group, or we as in the world? We're not going to get there and then not come back, right? This isn't like a push us into the volcano thing, is it?
Well, there wasn't a volcano the last time I was there, so I'm assuming it's not. Magic is fickle. It wouldn't be my first choice.
All right. I'm going to roll this die. So that was where we disagree, and now there's more here. On a 1 to 2, it's someone gets the dishonored trait. On the 3 to 5, we get who is right, and then on 6, we get justice of the Storm Queen. That's a 6. Oh, God, what happens? Are there any ideas here? Justice can be good.
It can be. There's something almost about the Storm Queen has this elaborate ritual of welcoming of welcoming people to this place, and also she is in a place that is still capable of magic or is surrounded by magic.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder whether or not, taking that and taking the scene into account, this is almost like she's a sort of umpire
Mm-hmm.
in this weird. But arbitration is kind of boring
Yeah.
narratively.
I just don't think arbitration is justice, or it's a very.
It's a very sort of umpire-y sort of justice,
It's
right?
a very sort of. It's actually like a very sort of depressing, dour sort of justice. Like, you want justice to be a little more fiery and a little more dedicated to an equality or a fairness that is not yet real, or else maintaining one that was hard fought.
Yeah.
And who wins and who loses is so amoral and so like disconnected from the physical that doesn't feel right to me. But it could be something that leads from arbitration, or that is a twist on it, you know?
I wonder if it's something like I wonder if it's something like, because she has this function of having parties um, at her castle for people who pass through, the idea of if they go on and someone gets lost before they come back for their return party, that becomes a different kind of party. Like, that becomes like a wake. Like, I wonder if there's something there that if there's something in that too. She doesn't care to host a wake, and I don't know.
Like, she explains that to them after this match, or that we actually see one of these wakes. Like, do we get just it's like, for me, the dourest, or the most, actually just like the most. I don't like grim dark fantasy very much. It's not my genre, but a thing I like about something that it has inspired a lot of grim dark fantasy are the sagas, the Icelandic sagas. That if you read a lot of grim dark fantasy, or if you talk to people who work in that space and make games in that space, the sort of like blood feuds of grim dark fantasy can be traced to the Icelandic sagas and other sorts of familial histories of kind of deep ritualistic, not even ritualistic, but like a deep sociology of revenge. And I like the notion of, and like a desire that things be made right, period. Maybe not no matter the cost, but often at high cost. And so I like the notion of, if news returns that a party that was given a welcome here did not return safely. They don't necessarily have to pass back through here for a return party, but if news comes through that they passed through and then met their end further east, then there is a wake, and she sends someone. She commits to send someone to get revenge. And it doesn't matter against what. It can be against a pit. It can be against the weather. And so what they do is she sends someone out, and if that person, she decides who to send out. And if that group had been killed by bandits, she sends out people to go kill those bandits. And if it's someone who fell into a chasm, she sends people out to build a bridge. And if someone was killed by the storms or by a flood, she sends someone out to build a lighthouse, or to build a cabin in the hills where someone could stay warm one night. And so I've kind of reached back around to amorality in that it isn't. I think it's grounded by a morality, a notion of like, I've offered them my hospitality, and my hospitality is forever. And what you get is just like, oh yeah, this person died of sickness, and then a doctor showed up to town to research sickness, sent from Stormguard Castle. And like, this is what happens to the people who don't stick around to be vaudevillians. Like the swineherd shows up because he wants to become a comedian here, and then 13 years later, goes off to be a revenge farmer because someone died of starvation, or to be a killer, right? Like, I don't want to.
Yeah, there is also
the
very active kind of revenge.
Right, exactly. There is the head of a village somewhere who is 70 years old, like, hears a knock on the door, and in come 3 burly figures, and like, what are you doing? And it's like, oh, well, word got back to us that 27 years ago you killed someone who passed through our castle. Like, and we're here to collect. Yeah, this is really good. I like that a lot. And so I think she vows this for us, right? I think what happens is she stands up at the end of this, and we fought to... Caspian loses. I'm not like, come on, please. Caspian loses. Noble effort. But the Storm Queen says, if you go to Umbra and don't come back, we have people and we have ways. Justice will be done. I think she just threatened Umbra. And that is Caspian scene. Harp.
I am going to go to the Hall of Knights.
Ooh, okay.
With Fawn, who I keep wanting to call Fern. But that's not her name.
No.
In the Hall of Knights is a hall. Sometimes you hear people describing a hall and what they actually mean, sort of a square room. None of that bullshit. There's a real hall here. It's about 90 feet long. And it's tall, and it's dark, and it is lit by lamps and candles in sconces. So there are these pools of light. And standing in the hall has nooks all the way down it, and standing in each of the nooks are the Storm Queen's knights. These knights are not golems. They are golems are people. These are flesh and blood. These are creatures of flesh and blood rather than creatures of things. They wear dark armor and they stand in these alcoves. They are essentially they're not explicitly mimicking golems, but the way they exist is very very golem-like. There is a door at one end of the hall and no door on the other end, and whenever a knight is called for, the knight in the nook nearest the door marches out through the door, and all the others move down one nook, continue to stand there in the dark. People say that there are little seats that they can lean against in the nook, but the knights would swear that that's not the case. Food is passed between them, and in this hall, we meet the knight who is like fourth or fifth in line. And this knight is called Iron Alexander. And he is a big knight. We can't see his face. We have no idea who he is, but he's there. Who wants to play this knight?
I'll be this large knight.
Hell yeah.
This is the large knight. Okay, so Fawn and I have come to the... I put it over the title. What's it called? It's called the Hall of Knights.
The best.
Yeah, I fucking love the prompt here is just the best.
It's so good.
It's really good.
Yeah, and I think I want to be clear here. Iron Alexander is not the best. He is fourth in the line right now. But the best is probably somewhere in this room, and I imagine that Iron Alexander has an opinion. And I think that I approach him and I say, I am carrying a sword too.
You are.
I have brought this sword with me into existence. Sorry. I didn't bring it into existence. I was brought into existence carrying this sword. I have come to you to ask what it means to be one who wields it rather than carries it. I did not intend to bring this dog with me, but the dog was curious about the Hall of Knights and joined me. It speaks.
Wait, you got a talking dog?
It is gregarious.
Hi, dog.
Hey.
Oh,
You got a talking dog. Hey, dog. Hey, whoa. It's extremely good.
so we got a talking dog and a metaphysical rock man. A very, very, very attractive rock man. What kind of rock is this?
I am no man, but I am beautiful. I have been created from a magnificent stone. In my right hand, I carry a rake. It was used to create a bird made of brambles, and in my left, I carry a sword. And I am curious, which is my lot? Alexander?
The sword of the rake, huh?
Yes.
What is your name, rock friend?
My name is Harp.
What about you, talking dog?
I'm Fawn.
Harp, are you left-handed or right-handed?
I was crafted from magnificent stone.
So ambidextrous?
Yes.
You got the sword in the left and the rake on the right, or is it the other way around?
Rake, right.
Okay.
Sword, left.
Let me ask you this: are you a back sleeper, or a stomach sleeper, or a side sleeper?
No sleep.
Oh, right. Yeah, rock. Okay. Do you ever put them down?
No.
Out of character, are you carrying both of them right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Alexander draws his sword and swings at you to your right.
It hits me. There's the sound of a sword against rock.
I thought you were going to block that with one or the other. It was going to be like a physical reaction thing. Show you what your lot in life is. When you have to react on instinct, do you go with the rake or the sword? I guess you just okay.
They're made of rock.
Well,
Why would
yeah.
they do anything?
Well,
Hey,
no. Dog has a point.
your test would be sufficient for a human. I do not think that I can find an answer from you. Recommend the best, please.
Oh, that's that. Okay. Oh, it's like this now, huh? Oh yeah, just come into my hall with your talking dog. Are you wearing boots?
They're toeless boots, yes.
Okay. And you're gonna come in here to me. You're gonna ask me these metaphysical questions. You know what it means to hold the sword? You don't to wield the sword instead of holding the sword. You don't think about it. That's what it means.
That's why you swing it at rocks.
Yeah. I don't know if you were agreeing or insulting me, but yeah.
You can guess.
You're not very gregarious at all.
And then it just cuts to. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I think listen and then it cutting away.
Yeah, it's extremely good. All right. Well, Dre, what is Piccolo up to? Oh fuck! I gotta move our cards over. Our cards are all so far away.
I was kind of wondering where they went. So here's the thing: we have the Justice of the Storm Queen protecting us.
Well, protecting. Okay, whoa. Protecting
Hold on.
is not the
I'm
same.
going somewhere with this.
Okay.
I'm going somewhere with this.
Mm-hmm.
During that night, Piccolo is having a great time, but is very confused. There's no oranges.
Uh-huh.
How are all these people not getting scurvy? And so he asked someone, and they're like, what is double scurvy? What is this chalk bridge? And so he tells them the whole story. And the next day, a messenger comes to him and Caspian and says, "We have a man at the stockades who owes you an apology."
Okay, good. He's so tall. How's he bent over in the stockades?
Very uncomfortably.
What are the stockades like? Are they outside? I mean, they're outside. They're stockades. They're outside. That's the whole point of stockades.
Yeah, no, they're outside. But you know what? I bet they're like for this. It's not even like real stockades. It's like joke Disney World stockades.
Oh, buddy. What's I really want Piccolo to take the lead here.
Okay.
And Janine,
So,
can you continue being this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Piccolo comes outside and sees his very helpful shopkeeper friend inside the stockade and is just aghast. And he's like, What are you doing here?"
That's a good question. A bunch of dancers and farmers came at me and dragged me across some dang mountains.
Oh, did you bring your chalk?
You know, I didn't have a chance to grab it.
Oh,
How are you
How
gonna
are you
get
gonna
across the? That's what I'm saying.
how are you gonna get back? Did you bring your oranges?
You know, it's the funniest thing. They didn't let me grab my bag either.
Oh,
We have some.
My,
Do you want?
my orange bag.
Do you,
Oh, we'll share, friend.
We'll share.
We'll share.
Yeah, of course. What did you do? Why are you all locked up in a stockade?
You know, I don't know. Did you advertise my services anywhere?
Of course.
I mean,
telling everybody
you're
what a
right.
good deal you gave us.
Yeah.
12 pieces of chalk. 12 pieces of chalk for just 72 gold coins.
All them oranges, and you took my frogs in trade. I mean, you were hospitable.
Yeah. Listen. And I think at this point, like, so he's bent over in these stockades. He probably has to kneel, I think. Actually, no, he's just like crouched really uncomfortably.
Yeah.
But when he's like, well, listen, he like instinctively stands up and the stockades kind of lift out of their base. So he's just standing there with like the stocks and then the post. So he's like, well, listen, and then he like looks, he realizes what he's done. He's like, oh shoot, sorry, and he like crouches back down, and, like puts the thing back in the seats it back in the base.
Dang, you're strong.
And his back strength.
A lot of muscle. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have like oversold you some stuff. You probably didn't. Honestly, you could have gotten by with like 6 sticks of chalk.
Well, yeah, I mean, you told us that.
You did
We
say
bought the extra.
we did say we needed extra chalk just in case. I don't use chalk that often. I felt like,
Well, I told you 10, which was a little dishonest. It should.
But maybe you were just reading us and saying like, oh, you look like a bad chalk user. I need 6, but you would need 10. I don't think that's dishonest.
I'm not that good a chalk user. Don't be
Hey.
so hard on yourself. That's really.
I know what happened here, y'all. No, listen. Before I came out here and I got you, Caspian, somebody came to me and said, someone owes somebody a sincere apology, and you'll find them at the stockades. And
Oh no.
I think it's me, because I took the chalk, and when we were in the mountains and it was raining, I didn't think anybody would see, and I wrote an F on the mountain.
I was just talking to the Magus about this. I knew.
And the rain washed it away, but
That's the worst.
They washed it into the water supply now. It's
Now that- it's in the snow.
I'm so sorry that your chalk is now associated with this terrible thing that I've done.
Is this why you've been arrested? Because they knew your chalk got in the snow in the river.
Oh, I'm gonna go tell them. Hold
No.
on.
No. Listen. You're just Piccolo. We've all been 16 once. Take it from me. You don't ever get to not be the person who put the F in the water once you admit it.
I don't want to live with that.
I mean, I said it. You put the one that comes between the E and the G in the water. Now you let...
Oh no.
Here's what we're going to do.
Why didn't I listen to Aunt Matilda?
We're going to go tell the Queen that this man didn't do anything wrong, that he told us that we needed 6 pieces of chalk to get across the chalk bridge. She'll understand. She knows about the chalk bridge. She's a queen. And that he should be let go. And that we...
I should just point out, actually, that queens don't generally use chalk. They do have a lot of people that work beneath them, so she may not know about the chalk.
True.
Oh, man.
She may have an entourage that handles.
Okay, well then we'll
so
talk
that just may complicate things further.
That's fine.
What if we just tell her that everything is settled?
Mm-hmm.
We're all good.
And you gave us extra oranges. That way, we'll say, that way we definitely don't get double scurvy.
Yeah.
Queens are genetically immune to scurvy. It's in the royal bloodline. So again, she just may not follow that. You might want to just say that they're very delicious and that the dog likes
learn
them.
all this. You're smarter than that dog.
I'm a very educated merchant. I come from a long line of very educated merchants.
All right. Well, here, let me just get you out of this so you can be on your way. And
I actually got it, and then he stands up again.
oh, yeah, back strength, right?
Right.
And if I smack it on a tree, most of it'll break off. I've done this. I haven't done this before. I just know that.
I'm so sorry that they drove you all the way out here.
I have to say something. That's the thing, is I have to apologize now too. Do you remember when you told me that we needed the oranges for the scurvy, and I looked at you in your eyes and I said, an orange? What's that? Can I have a taste? Because I've never had an orange. I like oranges a lot, and it's not that often that I get to have them, but I'd had one before. I knew what an orange tasted like. So I actually owe you an orange. Here, for the trip back. Pulls it from the kite, hands it over to you.
Do you need any chalk? We got chalk.
No, let's hold on to the chalk just in case. I'm now way less confident about my chalk skills than I was when I came into this place.
Just keep it away from me. Save me from myself.
I'll take care of it. And just takes all the chalk and puts it into the blue herb pouch and closes it tight. And moves it from the left side of the belt to the right side, as if that's safer. I hope you can get back in time for the next farmer's market. Be careful of the storm.
I'll do my best.
And shakes your hand, reaches up to... I don't even know where your hands are at this point.
Beside his head.
Reaches all the way up to shake the hand.
I think what he does is he spins the stalk around so that one of his hands is over his head really uncomfortably, but the other one is lower for you.
Right, good. Thank you. All right, I don't know that we have more in that scene, Dre.
No. Nope.
Oh. And we are back around to Fawn.
Okay. I think I want something nice and simple here. I think after the trip to the Hall of Nights, Fawn wants some chill out time, just wants to relax and enjoy this nice party. Fawn doesn't get to go to a lot of parties.
Oh.
Because Fawn is a bush dog or vinegar fox. And generally people don't think to invite those, even when they talk and have beautiful hats to their parties. So she's just having a nice time, and there's a beautiful dancer in the commoners' hall.
Ooh.
And Fawn is just enchanted. This beautiful dancer is wearing I imagine they're like those very baggy sort of harem pants. I don't know if there's a better name for those because I don't like that name for them.
No.
But ones that are very loose but cinched at the ankles. Princess Jasmine pants, but they're made of fur, so they're very like soft and voluminous, and like all the volume is mostly in the fur and not the actual fabric. But they have a very similar shape. And they have a matching vest of a much shorter fur. And they also have a sort of chain around their waist with various sort of colorful sashes tied around it. And it's a sort of functional belt, but it's not that attractive and doesn't necessarily do the complexity of the rest of their outfit justice. And Fawn is just very enchanted by their movement. They're a very graceful dancer. They are probably both a dancer and like the person who like digs the crud out of a horse's foot. But they're not a very good dancer because they'd probably be elsewhere if they were very good, but they're quite good. And I think Fawn watches them for a bit, and then Fawn sort of slips away. And then when Fawn returns, she has a much better crafted sort of. It's an all fabric belt. There's no chain or leather component to it, but there is sort of a buckle on the front where you loop one end of the fabric through, so it sort of secures at the waist. And then there's a lot of sort of dangling beadwork along the hem of the scarf. And it moves much more fluidly. It's a very light fabric. But also she has it kind of like knotted up in her mouth when she approaches the dancer with it. Does someone want to play this dancer?
Yeah, I'll be the dancer.
Thank you, Jack.
Okay. They, them pronouns,
Okay.
I think.
Hi.
Because like in the mouth.
A little dog. What have you got? What have you got for me?
I think like Fawn like puts it down on the ground and looks at it and is like, it's a nice belt.
Oh my god.
Your belt's, I thought you would like a nicer belt. Your belt is nice, but this one will move better.
Where did you get this?
I made it, and Fawn's tail wags a little. Just like a little bit. Just like 3 strokes, and then stops.
Okay. Right. We're going to go and find a witch, and we can break this spell just right off the bat, just as quickly as possible. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. You'll be okay.
Oh, it doesn't need a spell. I backstitched, so it won't come loose.
No. No, I'm not. The belt is. You made it? The belt is great. The spell that. Okay. I don't know how to say this. I think you've been turned into a dog.
No, this is, some people call me a vinegar fox.
This is you. This is you?
This is me. My
you-
name's Fawn, and this is me.
And you made me this?
I did. I really liked your dancing.
Ace of diamonds, Jack of spades, meet your partner, and all promenade. There's a caller. There's a dance caller in here.
Do you want to dance?
I don't dance super. I can waddle. And like
Okay.
hop. I hop a bit. I like hopping in grass. I don't tell anyone that, and I would appreciate if you didn't tell anyone that, but I do like to hop in grass.
No. I really thanks for the belt. And once I got over the fact that you're not a twice cursed being, yeah. It means a lot, Fawn. Thank
I'm
you.
glad you like it.
And then I think I probably danced with the dog.
Yeah.
Sort of hopping.
I've pulled up a square dancing PDF if anyone needs any more calls.
Oh yeah, hit me with it.
Well, the problem is actually this is a billion pages long, and I want a page that has probably 30 different PDFs about square dancing.
Mm-hmm.
So you could do like this.
It's interesting they chose to disperse those via PDF.
Listen. Square dancing is a modern dance program, and modernity is all about PDFs.
Mm-hmm.
From various formations, do a vertical 0-4, i.e. get into the double pass-through or single pass-through formation as appropriate. Then do the anything call. Anything is in parentheses here. In counting fractions, the vertical is counted as a single part. Vertical Dixie style to wave, and it's like 3-4-1-2 start, 1-3-2-4 after vertical, 2-1-4-3 finish. This is wild. This seems any tagging call your neighbor. So that would be like promenade your neighbor. Swap the wave.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Did you do any square dancing in like your PE classes in school ever, Austin?
I extremely did not, but I did it once in Australia. So
it was part of the PE curriculum here in Louisville, Kentucky.
Actually, now that it was part of our PE curriculum in high school too. We had to do a Shania Twain dance.
Oh my god.
Because Canada.
Here's what I love.
PDF, Austin?
There's another PDF here that's all about the history. It's dance program history, a document reporting the history of the Collar Lab dance program's basic mainstream. And it starts with the 1975 Collar Lab tentative mainstream list in suggested teaching progression, ranging from 1, the first call, circle left and right, to 68. Sadly, they didn't get to 69, which is Hinge Family. There's some good ones in the middle here, like 8 Chain Through, Star Promenade, Wheel and Deal, Centers In and Out, Run Family, Trade Family, Circulate Family, Couples Wheel Around, Shoot the Star. That's a damn good one. Shoot the Star is a damn good one. But then here's where this document gets incredible. So that's 1975, and there are 68. 1976, the list was divided into 3 parts: basic program, extended basic program, and mainstream program. 1977, add split circulate to the circulate family, quote-unquote through to the cross trail through. 1978, add recycle, substitute, listed as zoom substitute. 1979, add backtrack, listed as U-turn /backtrack. Ferris wheel, past the ocean, added to the ocean wave family. Drop, cast 1/4, 1/2, in, right, left. Couples backtrack, couples lead left, shoot the star 3/4, and swat the flea. We dropped swat the flea in 1979. And this is just a history of things being added and removed to this one specific official dance calling thing, and it goes on for years. It's really good. I'm really into
When was this last updated?
2006.
Oh, so maybe there's
It's like
another
11
document.
years ago, though.
All right, do you want to know the best thing about it is
You haven't already told us the best thing?
for me the best thing about it is 2000 changed the basic mainstream program to mainstream program. From the program policy document, dance programs are updated every 2 years. Changes shall be slow and deliberate, which I love because it's like, listen, we're going to be very careful about what we change going forward. That's 2000. 2001, 1 year after saying changes shall be slow and deliberate. Drop 8 chain through, fan the top, and spin chain through. 2003, 2 years later, add 8 chain through. 2006, add spin chain through. So
More changes, Austin.
and also it's literally the ones they got rid of. They get rid of 8 chain through and spin chain through, and then immediately re-add them. They went,
You know there was a meeting at some point. Like a
Probably
really
a lot.
tense meeting.
These are the best patch notes.
be it resolved that the Collar Lab mainstream boldface / italicized list be dropped from further consideration. So good. I love culture so much. All right. we should it was the end of that turn. That was a really good scene. I'm glad you danced. I'm going to move this thing and we're going to see where we're going. I think it's another choice. It is.
Oh wow.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot here, huh?
That's some cool shit.
There's more cool shit than you know, too, because... Alright, so our options are the ice rail, the debt you owe, which is interesting. It's like a railroad, it looks like to me. There's like trains, there's an engine. That's great. That's fantastic. There's also the mouth of the deep, which has a little torch next to it. And the torch is the deep way. The torch icon marks the deep way, a road that leads to an additional section of the map located on the back of the scroll. When moving the Magus, you may use the deep way to travel to the map on the back of the scroll. Find the matching torch icon on the other side and continue from that point along the dashed road. So, I want to at least look at that real quick. What do you think? I don't know if I'm committing to the mouth of the deep yet, but on the back of the scroll is this other different map.
Oh.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Oh man, it goes the other way. That's interesting.
Wait, does it?
Because it's the back of the map, so...
Right. All right, so we go from the mouth of the deep to the hanging city, the hospitality of the rag draggers. Are you fucking kidding me? What's a rag dragger? And those options are all very good. But wait, how do you get out of here? I don't know how you get out. Okay, wait, what's it say?
Well,
there's a nameless
there,
city
right?
torch.
Yeah.
That might be the end.
Wait, you're
There's
just
also
on
just like
the
a
back?
gate.
Oh.
It's like a place.
Wait.
And then...
Okay, wait, I'm gonna actually... When did it continue from that point along the dashed road? So that's it? Then, like, you're just on the back of this map, then?
Yeah, I think the nameless city would be that's another way to access. You could go from the nameless city down here to the gate. I think the gate is still your destination.
Wait, I don't see the name...
the Gate of Umbra?
Oh, wow, the Gate of Umbra is down here. I see.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I think that's the thing.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to turn this back around before we look at this thing too much. Because the alternative, though, is that we stay up here. And... So I'm just going to pull this back just a little bit more. Because the next thing are these islands. And that's why there's this deck of cards to the bottom right of the screen.
Oh, man.
And there's all sorts of shit in the cards. Yeah. I mean,
there's so much good stuff in this game.
This game is really good. And also,
fun.
I'm exhausted. I don't know that I have much more in me. I want to frame this next sequence and then probably call it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what to do. I don't know if I want to go to the ice rail, a debt you owe. I don't know what debt the Magus owes. Or, oh, wait, sorry. I didn't bring y'all back. Oh, yeah, I did. I brought you back.
No,
right?
no, we're back.
Okay.
We're here.
So I don't know if I want to do that. Or if I want to do... Someone said boat party in the chat. That's a lot. I'm very torn. See, I thought the back of this map would be like a thing you pop into and out of. I didn't realize that it would be a thing that you're like, all right, I'm committing. I'm down here now. I'm super torn. What do people think? I like, honestly.
I'm curious about the cards.
Yeah, I was going to say the
Yeah.
same. I'm excited about going on a... I'm excited about going on a boat.
The underground thing seems a lot like a thing where, like, you've maybe played this game a couple times and you're like, let's try something different. You know?
Yeah.
I'm curious
It's
about
weird that it skips a whole mechanic.
Yeah.
Okay, you can leave there, because we are at the mouth of the deep, and it's my turn. I decided to move the Magus along the path through the deep way. I remove the tokens from the map and flip the scroll over, continuing from the torch icon on the back to the hanging city. So I think the hanging... Or maybe I'm just... Oh, no, I'm wrong. That's like going in. Okay, yeah, no. Yeah, I think once you're down there, you might be down there. Weird. Cool, though.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense because you're under a sea.
Yeah, I guess so.
So it does kind of make sense that you wouldn't be able to just pop up wherever.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to the ice rail then. I mean, the other thing is that we could go to the mouth of the deep and then go from there up to Estalia, or we could take the ice rail to Estalia. I think I want to...
I'm just in love with the phrase "take the ice rail to Estalia." Honestly,
Yeah, me
Me
too.
too.
Also,
That's good.
Also, we can't dig deep here, but having looked at the little picture of Estalia at the start of this game, right? That little tiny one in the bottom left, and now looking at it here on the map, you were exactly right that it's on Orlando. It's unbelievable.
It is just it's Anne Orlando has showed up in the game.
Okay, so we say our goodbyes. So I'm the Magus now. So I'm gonna go back over here and take the Magus token and move us to a debt.io. The Magus leads us to down the rest of the mountain, across a long icy plateau. You can see the ocean off to the east, and the ocean to the east from here is like across the entire shoreline is frozen. You can see the ocean thrashing beyond that, but there's like it's something in the ground is cold in a way it shouldn't be. Whether that is from magic or from the absence of magic, I don't know. I'm not the Magus. The Magus knows, but I don't know. The Magus isn't very talkative, so she does not tell us. But the ice, or there's ice, like waves frozen in place, which is not what should happen, all around the rocks and crags on the eastern seaboard here. And the Magus leads everyone to this little frozen train. It's not a station even, like it's a stop, like a bus stop. Do you know what I mean? Like there is like one little place with one bench that doesn't even sit the whole group of us. So I think the Magus stands, and Caspian and Harp and Piccolo can sit, and I mean I guess if Fawn wants to hop up on a bench too, she can also sit. Actually, I don't know if Harp sits. Does Harp sit? Does Harp stand?
Stands, just sort of like locks their knees.
Yeah. And you eventually hear the train coming. There's like it's like very fast. It's a very fast rhythm. It's like Thumper, the game Thumper, like where a thing I love about the music in Thumper is it feels like every measure cannot wait to be here, and so it's almost cutting the previous measure off all the time. You're just like, by the second, like, I don't think that's how music works. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's how it feels in that game, in that game's whole soundtrack, is that it feels like every measure is being devoured by the one that comes next, and that's what this train sounds like as it gets closer and closer and closer. Piccolo, have you been near a train before?
No. Okay, still not as good as the talking dog, but maybe better than the flying man.
Hey, I do all right.
No, you do, but that thing's big.
You see it lick its lips.
And it's got lips.
Its tongue is like striped. It has this like long pink striped tongue, and gleaming teeth.
You still got oranges?
Bites into one through the skin. Caspian does. Still got oranges.
Might want to save them. Train looks a little hungry. I don't got any gumbo.
I wonder if I could just tie my kite to the back of that thing and just float by it.
Hey, you could try. I don't know if it's gonna stop and let you.
Everyone be calm. It's a train and it has a job. It's going to take us somewhere. Harp and Fawn, what are you thinking about this train?
I think that Harp steps off the platform, or rather steps off the out from under the ice covered porch and brushes some snow off their shoulders, and steps to where like subways, it's like don't cross the yellow line.
Yeah.
I think there's one of these, and it's metal in the floor of the stop, and it's warm. It's being heated, so you can see it through the snow, and there's sort of melted snow around it. And Hart places their foot across the line and holds an arm out to signal. Holds a stone arm out to signal holding the rake to signal the train.
Fawn.
Fawn's under the bench.
Fawn.
It's just better under the bench.
Oh, okay. That was
to
like a
make
scare.
it a thing. It's
I thought it was like
a little
scare.
bit, but it's better under the bench.
Caspian like kneels down really quick and says like, when we get on that train, I'll find an open air, like I'll find a window or something, and we can do the hookah thing again. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
No, I'm not. I'm not smoking hookah with you on the train. It's not. It's. I'd rather it be nice and warm. I don't want to sit by an open window. It's drafty.
All right, fine. And the train comes into full view, and the front of it is like this. In my mind, it's like the front of a buffalo. If the buffalo had like metal spines, like big nose, big like wet nose, just like slavering tongue, like falling out behind it as it moves. And instead of being fluffy, it has these hard metal edges pointed backwards with the speed that it's gaining still as it gets closer and closer. Like it's far away at first, and then as it gets closer, it gets faster and faster and faster. And your hand is out still, and the Magus comes over to you, Harp, and she leans close to you, and she says, "The rake or the sword?"
I will choose the rake.
To keep or to give?
And Harp pulls the rake back from over the thing, draws the sword with their left hand and holds it out over the tracks.
She nods and turns, and holds up she makes like a hand signal with both of her hands, like using fingers. It's almost like she is doing like a shadow puppet, like a strange configuration of her hands. And you've seen her do this once or twice before, in your long life, Harp. And the train, you can hear, it sounds like whinnying, but it's brakes being hit on this train. And it starts to slow, and you can see the entire front of it begin to open up its like huge jointed mouth. And you can feel the sword gets heavier and heavier in your hand. And it begins to take on almost like, it begins to like parts of your rose quartz like body, or crystals like that form around the sword. Like it's a big piece of sugar candy, like rock candy on a stick. And it ends up being this huge like baton of crystalline like candy. And this huge creature that does just have a train behind it, like train cars behind it, slides into the station and just rips it away from you. And she says a debt is paid. And the doors open. And you don't have a sword anymore.
Okay.
We're about a third of the
Okay.
way there, she says. Get on board.
Yeah, I'm gonna like look down at the crystals that are fallen
Yeah.
and board the train.
There's like lunch service. There are other people. People get off of the train here. That's a thing. Is like it comes to a stop, and then like 3 people get off, including someone with a what do you call it? An accordion, who comes off and immediately starts to like play some sort of holiday tune. I don't know what holiday it is here. What holiday is it here in this world? Don't say train day.
It's possible they're just returning to the castle, right?
No, but I think they're playing a holiday tune, so I want to know what that holiday tune is. This is the I spent 6 hours in a Starbucks today sneaking into my fucking brain.
It's a tune about uh these people have come from a place where there isn't any frost. There's no snow and there's no frost, but there's part of a sort of yearly it's a cross, but it's one part ritual and one part pilgrimage and two parts holiday that probably like a travel agent or something sets up, and culturally associated with that is one of these songs that's kind of like along the lines of like snow is here and it's great. It's frosty at last. We've all packed our warm weather clothes.
Janine writes, "All I want for Frostwalk is you."
Yeah, exactly. All I want for Frostwalk is you. There's a verse about punch.
Does any of it resonate with harp at all?
I don't think it does. No, I think that
song.
I think that harp. I think that harp. As the person with the accordion comes off the train, harp turns and is sort of like, "All right, cool, here we go. This is it." And there's nothing. And they board the train and they look out of the window at this guy with an accordion, and then a lady with a big drum strapped to her chest gets off the train behind him, and there's a guy playing the flute, and harp kind of watches them, and there's I don't other than the sort of very deep what's the word for like geologic sorrow that golems feel constantly. I don't think that harp feels any particular sorrow that this isn't their song. They're just sort of like, well, I gave it an opportunity, and this wasn't the one.
I think Caspian, who has this giant fucking kite filled with stuff,
just like bumping it against the door,
like trying to get it up into one of the little overhangs that like the shelving things above it, the little compartment. It doesn't fit up there at all, but like puts it down for a second and leans it against an empty chair, and then just like turns to you and says, "I spent a long time in the sky before I sung my first verse. I'm not even that good at singing. I just do it because they pay me to, and I get to go in the sky." I haven't been back to Australia in a long time. And I'm not going to tell you that where we're headed is like a source of inspiration for me or for anyone else. But I think maybe you should focus on figuring out flying before you figure out singing. You know? One of those is a metaphor. The other one I mean singing, like literally singing. But the flying, but that's not. I don't. This isn't a judgment. You seem pretty heavy. You're made of rock. It's beautiful rock. Also, just to be clear.
My magnificence is earthbound. Thank you for your kind words, Caspian. Before I began this journey, not only did I not know that singing was something that was available to me at some point, I had no desire to sing at all. It was only during our first steps that I realized first that this was something that I wanted, and then that this was something that I might one day be able to do. I have been alive for 3,000 years, and I am prepared to exercise a little patience.
I think Caspian like looks over the scars from the fire duel. I was like, yeah, patience. Anyway, I gotta get this kite somewhere. I'll see you around. It's gonna be a long train trip. Try to enjoy it. And then
I will try my best.
walks away with this big kite, looking for a place to fucking put it. Is there any other shots as this ends? I want to know what everybody else is up to. Fawn,
Uh,
how you doing on this train?
Probably fine. Like once you're inside the train, it's just like being in a loud room that kind of moves. It's probably like unnerving, but Fawn's seen some unnerving things, so it's probably fine. Probably finds a nice like bench seat somewhere to just like chill.
It's good. Piccolo.
Oh, I think Piccolo's just like running through every train car on this train and just poking his face into everything.
Oh God. Good. Then I guess I really want like that like crane shot that starts from the inside of a train and like slowly pans outward and kind of zooms away, so we get the shot of the train going along the coastline basically, and we just like see from a kind of a distance, we see Piccolo running, arms outstretched, like from place to place and like poking his head into things, and we get a nice shot of Fawn sitting at sitting in a booth, all dressed up, and Caspian trying to put the fucking kite away. What are our last shots of Harp?
I think that we get a like a reverse point of view shot of Harp's face seen through the glass of the train, and then you get the point of view shot of like what they see as we go down the coast, and I don't think this is framed as like a revelation or anything. I think this is just scenery, but I think that like standing with their backs to the railroad facing out to sea are, during one section like a line of 300 golems standing on the cliffside facing out to sea, holding weapons, guarding the coast up towards Istalia.
What's the last shot of the Magus? Magus? Maggie? Maybe we just don't actually see her. The last time we see her is like, we see her go into the train, and then that is the last time. I almost said in the movie. That's the last shot of her in the movie. Like we don't see her inside. It's as if she isn't there. Like when we see Piccolo run through the whole thing, and she's just not. In fact, when the DVD comes out, you can see her go in, and then there's like a shot change where like instead of looking head on to the train, you're looking into it, and by the time the shot shifts, she's already gone, and there's no way she should be gone already.
Yeah.
All right, I think we stop there. I don't know. I love this. This is so good.
Yeah.
We should talk about
It's fantastic.
if there's a way to pick it up in the near future without too much time going, because I don't want to lose momentum, but also this is the busiest time of the year, so.
And also we stopped at a point where it makes sense to have a bit of a rolling start. Like,
yeah, true.
We have a nice natural place where we can kind of get our feedback or whatever the actual idiom I want is.
Yeah, we'll be in this cool train car. Okay. I'm Austin Walker. You can find me on Twitter at Austin_Walker. You can follow the show at twitter.com/friends_table, friendsatthetable.net, and friendsatthetable.cash on Patreon. If you enjoyed this, please consider telling a friend and letting them know that we did this really cool thing and that they could come watch it over here if they pay us $5 a month, which is definitely, I don't want to say it's not an ask, because I have fucking been there where it's like, I do not have $5 extra a month. I am sorry, person who is making a cool thing, but I just don't have it. But also, if you do have it, it's like, totally think that it's a pretty fair ask given the amount of stuff we try to do for that money. So thank you so much for your support, and let people know, because it's the only way that we have to let people know is y'all. Where can people find you, Dre?
Hey, you can find me on Twitter at Swandre3000.
And Janine.
You can find me on Twitter at Bleating Heart.
And Jack DeKeat.
You can find me on Twitter at NotQuiteReal or buy any of the music featured on the show at notquitereal.bandcamp.com. And I wish I could soundtrack these live shows.
I know.
It's like
It's the
there's like
dream.
no logistical way to do it
No, I
like
know.
live at all.
It's
But
the
like,
worst.
man, I was listening to all these places like, yeah, this would be great to do.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Ugh, so good. All right, we'll talk off stream about next steps. Hashtag next steps. Hashtag I work in a fucking office and say things like next steps way too often.
But like, it would be good to. This probably isn't going to be the last we're going to see of this crew.
I hope
no
not.
promises,
Yeah,
but
no
like,
promises,
yeah,
But let's try to. I would like to try to finish this sometime in the future.
yeah, me
so.
too.
Yeah.
All right. We should type that is.
All right, let's do it.
Oh yeah, that website.
That good website. It is late. Jack, thank you for staying up.
It's been, I don't know, it was a really. I don't usually like doing really long live recordings, but this game was good as hell. I had a great time.
Mhm.
It's Red Planet Day, everybody.
Oh, congratulations to the sun gives us all that life.
That's
Wait. Yeah,
That's not
Mars
a
is the red
planet.
planet, Jack.
Right up there in the middle. Right up there in the middle. Warms our bones. Makes summer happen.
Oh boy.
You need a time for.
Austin.
Oh, sorry. I was reading from Central Raponic Regional Library, inspiring lifelong learning about Red Planet Day. Each November 28th is celebrated as Red Planet Day. It
Do you know that
commemorates.
vinegar dogs have webbed feet?
Whoa.
Why did you bring that up?
Gonna be useful during the island sequence.
I didn't know it would come up. I just wanted to say it. It's just fun.
I didn't know Mars was so much
I
smaller.
might forget.
Yeah, it's that picture is to scale.
I mean, it must be, right? Is that the whole point of this picture?
Oh, yeah, that's how big it is. So it's a 10 pence piece.
Okay, I'm gonna close this. Let's clap at
40?
40. It was all right. Lily
Sounded
says,
pretty good to me.
Lily says, can't hold a blunt with webbed feet.
They're partially webbed.
Okay. Good night, everybody. I'm going to open this.
Night.
Good night.
Night.
There we go. Bye.